Welcome back to another session of Candlekeep Mysteries. Been a little bit of time, but welcome back. Last time on Candlekeep Mysteries, you started off the session swinging as Renegor the Beholder fought against all of you collectively with a variety of rays that they used against you, including ways that would transport you into buildings, crush you under rocks, teleport you around the place, and also one of the most intimidating ones that can remove their consciousness from your body. With this combination of rays and also using some of them on themselves in order to empower their own abilities, they pose quite a significant threat and nearly cause a TPK, as most of the people did get wiped in various fashions or knocked unconscious at the very least. However, with just enough damage, it became possible to defeat Renegor as Errant Quill used the magical dagger that you had been given in order to stab Renegor across the back, fusing Renegor's being into Errant Quill. It became apparent then that Errant Quill's ability seemed to, in some capacity, relate to what they desired at any moment. And after a attempt to bring fellow party members back from their deceased states did not work, they began the process of opening up the demi-plane to allow escape, but decided that there was time to make some other modifications and may have. Well, I'll let you. You were the one there, Layla. You can describe that particular moment in time.
I'm sorry, I just completely blanked out. What?
Right at the end, where Errant Quill was, you got to witness what happened because you were basically the only conscious one. I guess Ash also, you became conscious also at the end there.
I was there.
Yeah, we went exactly right there. What we witnessed was the beginning, or villain origin arc.
Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Greetings.
Hello.
So what pretty much
Or
ended
white
up
scum.
happening- Yeah, so Layla would have explained to the party that as Errant Quill began to come to terms with his abilities, having, been infused with the essence of Renegor or whatever, he more or less went mad with power and realized that the village that we were trapped in doesn't need to necessarily be something that we can it's not something that he has to leave. It's something that he can make better. He went mad with power.
Yes, and
well,
he is...
I guess when you re-explain that to Phoenix, Phoenix will probably relay that he kind of knew that.
It
That he didn't
seems
want to leave.
as though he had a taste of what it meant to create your own realm the way that the Beholder did, and now desires to do that writ large. Everyone goes into their own storybook where they wish to be, and it is their own perfection. They live in their dream world.
To be honest, I kind of already knew that. I didn't know the exact nature of how he ended up obtaining your power until you just mentioned it. But I remember when speaking to him prior to him joining us, that maybe he himself didn't know this, but he had absolutely almost like a remorse to leave that village. He himself has grown attached to it into a way, even though it was a mimicry, a falsehood, he just couldn't bear the thought of leaving it.
I do wonder about how he is translated then from perhaps that moment, or however it occurred, to now being in charge of Candlekeep and the dragon here and such.
Yes, maybe the book itself from give us the insights as to how he obtained quite a wealth of degree of power, but that still doesn't explain how he himself has managed to gain control of Candlekeep, as
Indeed.
well as Miriam and all their contents.
It also does not. Sorry, one sec. I wonder if he is fully aware or not of what we have seen occurring with previous comrades and others here at Candlekeep when they seem to be fully engulfed by the book. If he is aware of that mechanism and what it entails or not.
That's a good question. There's something preventing us from explaining this to Errant Quill directly about the individuals who are trapped in the books and cannot leave.
There's no saying how he would take it if we confronted him on this, and I admit it makes me a little bit wary.
Though my understanding about the souls that are, or the individuals who are trapped in the book, it might be the work of Miriam themselves.
True.
As he put it, you're entering upon his horde and attempting to leave, and he refuses. You are now a part of his horde, as he said himself. I don't know if that's the work of Errant Quill himself. It doesn't sound like a deal that Errant Quill made with the dragon, because the dragon was clearly not happy with us bringing that detail to bringing that specific detail with Errant Quill himself. As far as I can say, they both Errant Quill and Miriam are both not good.
Well, it begs the question then about what is the best course of action to proceed with at this time.
As you're contemplating your actions, you also happen to find something else on the shelves over there. It's very convenient. It seems to be related to something in one way or another. Very
wow.
convenient.
That seems very
What
conveniently
is
related to
this?
something that we were aware of.
Nice. That looks lovely. So I'd like that, but does anybody else want it?
Jacob also likey.
Is this
So it's a
is
weapon.
this an attunement?
Yeah.
It's not attunement.
Yeah, I figured because there was there was no A on there.
My
Yeah,
action
not
is
not
shoot,
every
so-
single anomaly company item is an attunement item. Just regular old item.
Indeed.
My action is shoot, so
When you the tome?
Yeah.
All right. So folks who want it is, let's see, Jacob, myself. Did anybody else want this potentially?
I mean, it costing an action is a valid concern for me, actually, because usually I'm spending my action to cast a spell, which...
I mean, same, but this is a weapon, which I think is cool. So,
What dice does it deal on a regular attack?
you throw. That's all I hear. in
Oh,
my
it,
head
it
is
says
like,
weapon.
Throw
But that's just to
another
make
rock.
it. That's just to make it easy to drag and drop it to your feet. It's not a weapon. It's a book. It's a magic book made of water.
Okay.
Okay, guys, what if we cast, like, enlarge on the book to make its AoE even bigger?
Hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's kind of cool looking though. Yeah.
That is pretty cool looking. It's kind of moist.
Okay,
What?
so then, I mean, potentially anyone could carry this. I just also liked it thematically for Ash since she carries around books anyway. But I
Wait,
don't care.
you the
It's
tome?
whoever. I have my own tome I carry around, my Kraken tome.
Oh, there's something that Phoenix is particularly interested in. He's gonna grab the book that we just entered. The Curious Tale of Wisteria Vale. Does it look like there's another chapter?
Looking at it, it kind of does, but the force that would pull you into the book, as you're kind of like moving your fingers through the pages, you don't feel that same sensation of getting pulled in anymore. It seems that it's gone. Whatever was allowing that to occur is no longer there.
For the
However-
entire book?
It seems that there is more text to the book than that chapter. It just is no longer pulling you in.
Oh. Hold on. If that's the case, Phoenix will just casually read through the rest of the contents.
Right.
Anyway, Jacob, if you want to take the tome for now and give it a whirl, go for it.
Sure, why not? And then,
Alright.
and then if we change our minds, I can always just hand it
Yeah.
to someone.
Exactly, we can figure it out.
You've acquired
Yeah,
the waves of
Parker can't take
madness.
I mean, if you stand close enough together, you can both use it in one turn.
Yeah.
Throw me the tome!
But
Like,
an interaction does not cost anything.
We can have the best.
No,
weapon
Aqua
of
has
all
special
time.
rules against that.
There, you
Aqua
can't.
has
There's
specific
no
rules.
trading weapons. Lame.
Yeah, there's
not a weapon,
I
it's
think it's
book.
the Great Sword Railway or whatever it's called, or railgun.
Yeah. So you can't just
Sure, it's like-
pass along a
yeah.
weapon to every person.
Yeah.
Like, I attack with this flame tongue. Here, you next.
you
You whack it.
like that now.
It's
No,
not
I
a
think it's
weapon,
called the Peasant Railway, right? Or the, or the Peasant
Peasant
Railgun.
railgun.
Peasant
It's still
railgun.
Yeah, the
Railgun.
peasant
Railgun.
railgun, yeah.
Classic peasant railgun. Not quite relevant to this, but also like I get what you mean. Reading through Phoenix, it looks like it is, now that you can actually read the pages, an autobiographical account of Harper's entering into the demiplane in order to free Errant Quill from where they were trapped, just as was stated by them directly. Going on further, though, reading from where it seemed to have ended, the book seems to go into more detail and more about their thought process laying within. And so what you end up reading is something along the following kind of a summation. Having gotten a chance to experience what it's like inside of the demiplane, I now recognize that there is more to this life than the cruelty that has been inflicted upon all living beings. I believe that it may be possible to circumvent this, and I'm currently making plans to provide a way so that no suffering will ever have to exist for anybody yet again. To this regard, I've managed to use my newfound powers to be able to head on over to a local place called Candlekeep, where I have now reside as the headmaster, and I'm able to make to fruition a series of events that I believe will be able to foster an environment necessary in order to provide the utopia that this world truly deserves.
So wait,
Oh, yeesh, Utopia shit never goes down well.
but even then, it still doesn't sound like whatever Miriam makes its experiencing was not done by Errant Quill. Yeah, sure,
Miriam
Errant Quill
had-
is not the current ruler of Candlekeep, but there had to be a person before.
Right, Miriam.
Yeah,
had
he
said
mentioned an
that,
archmage.
Yeah. He was trapped here before Quill. An archmage trapped him or whatever, so he's separate from his body. It was like the previous ruler of Candlekeep. So what he said was that Errant Quill is his current like jailer.
Yes, basically.
So
Either
it
way.
is possible that the archmage that imprisoned this dragon here simply did not think to make use of its powers in this way, because frankly, who would?
That begs the question: was it Errant Quill who's given people access to these books in the way that they then in the demon place as such, or was it the Archmage that created the current system of Candlekeep?
We can look into it, but I would suspect that Quill himself has created this system of demi-planes and going into other areas using the dragon perhaps as either an energy source or to help fill those books with treasure, what have you.
I wonder if this is a question we can ask Errant Quill. He doesn't seem to be too. What's the word? He's as easy to read as a book in a way you could say. He's very honest about his own feelings on the matter of many things, especially about one's desires and everything of the sort. He doesn't seem to hide it. As I think everyone here has experienced his lines of questioning about one's desires and what you're willing to do to achieve
Ooh.
them.
I mean, I kind of haven't.
True.
It's not like he is hiding his intent with these questions.
No, but he has a bit of a callous disregard for each person's agency in the way that he seems to think he knows best.
That may be the case, but he still asks nonetheless.
I am not certain.
Well, might I suggest that perhaps we return to the hearth at Candlekeep at least to rest. I admit that that book was tiring and a near-death experience.
Yes.
Yes, though I myself didn't really feel the experience of death, I just simply stopped existing, but I agree. Probably resting would be better.
There before you lies what appears to be a portal that you recognize as being at an earlier portion of the library.
Phoenix ponders about leaving the Tales of Wisteria Vale somewhere.
One question. Would I have any knowledge, arcana, or something like that about... Do we have any idea what kind of dragon or creature Miriam is?
A beautiful.
A silver dragon.
Silver dragon.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, they were an astral silver dragon of some
It's been
kind.
so long. Okay.
The correct answer was a beautiful dragon, like all of them are.
Wait. It's a silver dragon? Aren't metallic dragons supposed to be, like, good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
So what
exactly
the hell happened?
exactly.
That's what weirded me out too.
That when we first found out that they were a silver dragon, we're like, wait, hold up, something about this is odd. Why are they being evil?
Yeah, they're supposed to... Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Maybe they're all being racist. Ever think about that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, let's go back
Not
to
all
Candlekeep.
dragons.
I would like to see if we cannot research at all about Miriam's history or find anything out about the prior owner of Candlekeep.
Actually, this is probably the unpublished realm is probably the place to maybe find publications relating to the beginnings of Candlekeep. That is not what's it called? Staunched in basically anything that's you know.
It's not
like-
sugar-coated by
Yes.
Quill.
Yes, not sugar coated. Basically, not something that's like removed because of we probably don't want people to read this kind of thing. No, we want to read it. So actually, using that bit of information, Aqua, can Phoenix maybe try to explore the unpublished realm to maybe find a book, ledger, or any sort of publication, old publication in regards to the beginnings of Candlekeep?
Do you have a way of flying?
I think they provided with me before when he was looking around these buildings, looking for a book initially. I think they gave it to me before. I don't know if they have it again.
You can ask, doesn't Tony fly?
Someone has flying.
I do.
Yeah, ask Tony to find the book for you. Hey,
Yeah, I guess
Tony.
like if Tony can just like fly me around, maybe.
I think I'm strong enough, yeah. Especially
Alright,
if
how-
you let me whip you first.
How long are you able to fly for, though, Tony?
10 minutes.
Oh,
I mean-
very long. Okay, hold on. We need maybe like a
Wait,
longer
no.
one, like a flight spell.
I think it's an hour now, cause it got updated.
Oh,
Hold on. Aqua, do you remember what the levels are for like?
I know what you're
Asgard?
talking. I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, let me
see.
look that up. It's in your list of buffs, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I have.
I mean,
and
if it helps Aqua,
At 11th level, it lasts for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If-
So
if
you can, Tony can fly for an hour already.
okay. I was about to say if it helps, Phoenix can read anything that's like even really small text from a great distance thanks to the eyes of the eagle. So I'm just wondering if like maybe any of the shelves that are not too far from the base platform, can I just read them?
You
No,
kind of
not
can,
read
but like,
content, but read the like the
gonna be right
spines or
back.
whatever.
yeah.
I
Keep in mind though
don't-
that while this map is not the entire section of this library, it extends beyond, and some of those shelves are not facing you.
Hey,
Oh,
just
okay,
to double
okay.
check, we are level 12 right now, right?
13.
13.
13?
I was
Okay.
actually gonna
13.
just mention that because you guys missed that. We went up
Yeah.
last session.
That is true. What the fuck do I get? Fighter.
Either way, if Tony can fly me for an hour, I think that's fine.
Right, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh, baby, we love to hear it.
Tony will turn into an angel.
Nice.
By you.
You say that like you aren't already one.
So true.
I heard
Oh.
investigation, and you already knew.
I get a dominable part 2.
Electric Boogaloo. As you go ahead and search about for the, something relating to the history of Candlekeep, so like the foundations of it.
Yeah, the very beginning, like how it was constructed and how it was made, that kind of thing.
Okay, give me a second.
Maybe any information about the Dragon Miriam might be possible if it's in that kind of book.
Or the former Archmage or something.
Yeah, that too, or the former Archmage.
There's a lot of books to have to sift through, but with Tony's help, you're kind of less like picking one up. Like especially if you're a keen mind, you're just like literally flipping through a couple of pages, and then while you're in the process of putting the book up and getting in, searching the next one, you're busy reviewing what you photographically recalled. So it's very efficient searching, right? Very, very efficient, because you can basically just immediately recall every single bit of text that you see inside of these little sections of pulling the books out. As you go and search about, eventually about the 45-minute mark, right, as everybody else is kind of chilling out on the platform and, you know, dressing up their wounds a bit. At about the 45-minute mark, you find a book, you scan a few first pages, you place it up, and then you see something that seems a little bit interesting, because you do see the word Candlekeep on this one. As looking through the book, it seems to have been written by someone named Torf, and it does seem to be an account about the foundation of Candlekeep. And as you scan through a little bit more, right, literally flipping through the pages and trying to scan for any useful words that stand out, you do see the word dragon in there at one point.
I like that word.
Okay, that's the book. That's the one I'm grabbing. Written by Torf, something about dragons and Candlekeep. Yep, this is the one.
Nice.
Alright, I'm enrolled my health for this level.
Let's go.
Joy. So that
So you just get 7
So you get a 5,
or
I think.
6.
yeah. So
7.
7. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. That's 115 actually. Pog.
What a lad.
Wow.
Wait, how do I-
Repogging.
Now you are 223 HP.
What?
I see 223.
While Phoenix is busy searching around and you're just on the platform here, Ash, your Arcana expertise has
Have an
gotten you a
attack.
little bit more accustomed to kind of seeing the patterns in the air, for like where Miriam was in the ethereal realm, and you can kind of recognize that every now and then little wasp, almost like little bits of ethereal wind, it almost feels like, just kind of float on by very gently.
Interesting.
Wait, why is my thing show 230?
Oh.
My health is 115.
Because
Did
you're
you
tanky
type it as
now.
temp? Oh, yeah, you wrote temp HP. You put 115 temp HP.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oops.
That's a
Nice.
lot of temp HP. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
When the hero's
XD.
feast is
Ready to
especially
fuck some
delectable.
shit up, yeah.
Jesus.
I hate doing basic math.
I had a feeling that was probably it, because I was like 115 plus 115 is 230 or something to miss here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, but
Yeah,
you
I
are able
once
to
rolled
acquire
my
that,
last
Phoenix. Also, just so some note, most of the contents that you've explored around here seem to be about a variety of mostly historical topics, of the kind of mundane variety for the most part.
Really? Is like as Phoenix is like maybe trying to browse through his memories, able to like maybe like maybe find out a reason why these would be in the unpublished realm? Like, is it like a history that people don't want people to be knowledge of, or like why would the books be here?
I have
Is it like
history
does it like touch
expertise if you
sensitive?
could manage to throw some of the books at me just for fun.
Yeah, I guess like with like does it have like information that's kind of like very sensitive and they don't want that information out kind of thing?
You're investigating and then trying to kind of try to piece together the information here. Go ahead and make a history check on this, as well as you give it a good think as pondering around all the information that you gathered.
Oh man, we like this history expertise. Let's go. Even out of 5, it's still 21, baby.
Yeah, so you're trying to piece together if there's something that kind of links these kinds of topics together. There's a whole bunch of fairly old topics, mostly about historical things like Rituals of the Cult of Vecna, The Feywild, A Field Guide, Prophecies of Phandelver, A Guide to Raw Magic, Glossary of Gorgons, Tomes of the Timeless, Eyes in the Underdark. You know, just very, like, these sound like cool titles, but they always do, don't they? Until you read them and it's like, oh, this is, like, mostly garbage. But there's one thing that links them all together, and it's mostly the dates that they were published. It does seem that all of these books were published a very long time ago, especially relative to the ones that you saw in the other portions of the library that you were more familiar with, which makes you suspect that these must not necessarily be important books, but they are some of the oldest ones in the library, by far. The only exception to that being Tales of Wisteria Vale, which was not published at a significantly long time ago like the rest.
So it's mostly due to their old age, and maybe it's because they're like, whatchamacallit, the older published versions of the new current published version of said books.
That's one working theory. Another theory that Phoenix begins to suspect is that the reason why this place must be destroyed may be related to the old age of those books, though the connection there is not necessarily clear on the relationship between why these books are so old versus why this whole area is completely destroyed and has dragon claw marks all around the place.
Gotta wonder if maybe Miriam is purposely hiding these books, but for what reason is left to be clear. Either way, I got the book we need. I'll investigate it more thoroughly. Let us get out of
Antonio
here.
was like, cool, you can read more on the ground because I'm starting to run out of steam.
I apologize. I appreciate your efforts, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to continue flying. I just don't think I have the capacity for that.
No worries. I appreciate it nonetheless.
I will drop you on the floor gently.
Just throws me on the ground.
I mean,
With
you're
all
a
their
Bloodborne, aren't
strength,
you?
they don't know their own
Get
power.
On the ground.
All right, I guess
Not
with
gonna be part of your system.
with the new book in hand, Phoenix will set Tales of Wisteria Vale down gently somewhere as he takes the new book, and he actually he doesn't know where Miriam is, but he raises the tome like as though like to show him. It's like, I'll be borrowing this, specifically stating borrowing.
The
Isn't that
first
what you
time
do
Phoenix
in
has
the
ever lied.
library?
He's not stealing it; he's borrowing it.
How
No,
a
no, I
library
distinctly
works.
He's
remember
borrowing it
one.
permanently.
I remember. I can't remember what session this was in which book, but where Phoenix had to lie and he did a terrible job of it.
I mean, I actually had the opportunity to get expertise in deception, but I purposely chose not to.
It wasn't on point for your character.
Never. He never will lie.
Oh, it was definitely in the Legion of Iron when we encountered what's his face, the nerd, and
Oh,
we were
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
deceive him, and he was like,
Because Phoenix is not a liar. He's bad at it. I've intentionally made Phoenix a bad liar.
Rainer, Yeah.
Reynard.
Reynard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool art
Yeah.
from Tony, by the way.
Oh. We got a new updated
Cool
Tony.
art time. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Updated Tony
yeah.
art.
We'll have to make the token for it later then.
Wish I had
Yeah.
cool art.
Ooh. Is that Tony like
Ooh,
a character
cool.
from something or just commissioned art?
They're
Oh,
from
we're gonna have to get rid of
it's,
those cat ears though.
Arknights,
Yes,
right?
It's from Arknight.
Arcanite, so
I also like.
Oh, I can even make it so that way you could still switch back to this Tony.
Yeah.
What
Give
else?
me
Yeah.
all the options.
Yes. I'll do it afterward. Just remind me.
Yeah.
Whoops. Who are you people?
Who are you people?
There we go.
Canvas drawing failed. Cannot read properties of null.
Okay, you get used to it. You return back over to.
You in fact cannot read the properties of null.
Oh.
It's in the description.
Why
I
is it
wanted to-
green?
I wanted to see
It
if
doesn't-
you can add like angel wings to the background of one of these, but I am not good at that shit.
I might be able to, because it's not a hard thing to do. You know, relatively compared to some of the other things I've had to adjust. What was I saying? You managed to arrive basically back over to the entrance. While the portal exits you in kind of a part of the library that's a little disorientating, you are able to kind of navigate your way back after a little bit of trial and error, not that much, because you all have kind of a lot of skills that help you traverse dimensions at a fairly reliable pace.
I thought everyone had the rope of light besides me.
Well, when you enter the portal, it gets kind of weird.
No.
It's just like looping back around.
I don't need a portal to get weird.
Yeah, Maisha's probably the worst off for travel stuff, so
Okay, I'll just hold on to you and dimension door you out.
In whichever case,
Yeah,
you
my-
find yourself once again in the familiar land of Candlekeep Citadel, crowded as always.
Candle
God, why are there so many people here?
Every time. Oh, no people. That
Now
is
this would be the
true.
perfect time to say.
Yeah. Every fucking time, man. Oh, also, Jacob, don't forget your
Great render, buddy.
rancor.
I
Yeah.
would never forget it.
Always remember, never forget.
Did you ever give your gray render a name?
Lucy. Lucy 2.0.
Dorian.
Please
All
don't.
right.
Anything but that one.
The
Let's call
rancor.
it Dorian. Dorian
Lucy
too.
Gray
Spot.
Render.
Like a dog.
What did you say it was?
Appreciate the pun, but I don't appreciate the name itself.
What was it?
His name is Dorian.
Oh
Dorian.
my god.
He's a lovely guy, Dorian. He's got a
Alright,
great
there we go.
skincare routine.
Picture of Dorian the Grey Render. Yeah.
There's
All
probably
right,
something
Dorian
here
the
that
Gray
makes
is now here.
mature.
You don't know who Dorian Gray is?
No.
Picture of
Well,
Dorian
let us
Gray.
let us paint a picture for you.
Oh my god.
You've returned to Candlekeep.
Okay, I still don't know, but okay, sure.
You wouldn't get it.
Apparently, I don't.
yeah, he doesn't have enough hearts under the floorboards. Wait,
Oh
no.
my god. All those deer in Nara, I mean, I know there's all the deer there, but that's so adorable that they go under the covering. Holy shit.
Right. So Phoenix will be like, I'm gonna head back to my office.
I am going to go take a rest, I think. Gonna go take a Are we taking a week-long rest? Please.
Yes.
Awesome.
And a please and a singular yes, and you're like, all right, yep, all right, that's good enough. Democracy prevails.
Where's the long rest thing? Now I can't remember where it is. This is the hardest part of this game. All right.
So I'm assuming we all want the week rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get no fatigue. Yay.
Alright, now that I am a level 10 warlock, I can begin the short rest, jeez. Wait until jeez. Wait until you see my power.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Correct.
Accurate.
I heard the slap and I was half expecting just a I'm gay.
Oh my god.
Every time.
Go ahead and begin the process of taking your extended rest, and we can see what everybody's up to during this week. So we'll start off with Layla.
Oh boy. Last job kind of sucked. Let's try another one.
What's the worst that could happen? Alright, this one's a little bit tougher than some of the other jobs that you previously had, yet again, right? But you're the best around, so obviously it'll work out.
You're the best around.
And nobody ever won the guy? Nah. Second? Just double checking something.
Take your time.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm very. Oh, okay.
You said it, but then you didn't play it. The fuck?
because the price was once again reduced, I am once again able to like very close to affording the Topaz Annihilator.
I am yet again.
Literally.
Thank you!
Bless you.
Bless you.
Hey.
Wow.
Double checking something with the item guide. Alright. You get I find it funny you're like chaotic good even though you're purely stealing from people, but let's go.
Robin Hood was also stealing.
I'm stealing from rich people, so honestly it's fine.
Fine, it's fine.
Not just like walking past a bed, I'm like, hey, cool can, and I'm just like, I take it from him.
Alright,
What if
so
it was a really cool can?
here's the
Probably.
job that they
Sort of-
managed to.
Sort of a moral obligation to steal from rich people at this
True.
point.
True. But anyways,
Here's
you're
a- Here's the job that your people found after disguising themselves as trees. They managed to infiltrate what appears to have been a kind of like a little druid encampment. Seems like it's a small little village off on the side, but what's notable is that they were tracking some traders, and it seems that they recently got inside of that village 2 tome, the kinds that can be used in order to increase ability scores. And they are currently there inside of the woods with the druids.
okay.
Holy shit.
This could go really bad or really good.
Let's see how it goes.
All right. How do you have a plan on how you would like to approach this?
So, I guess kind of paint me the scene here. So how's it looking?
All right. Based on the blueprints and the details that they're able to give you, there's a secret path through the forest that they've vaguely mapped out and gotten through once through significant amounts of trial and error by relying on like being able to detail what certain plants are to be able to find a pathway through. Once at the village and getting a scope of the scene, it looks like there's probably not too many guards or the like because they feel very kind of protected already, but they see that there are some people casting spells along the area, and so they're not sure if there's maybe magical defenses.
So they're not sure if there are magical defenses. This is like a druid grove?
Yes.
I see. Do they know where the items are?
And they're inside of one of the taller buildings. They saw the trader bringing it over to there, and then they ran away. As trees.
Okay, so let's see here.
It looks silly.
Man,
you know,
look at those
trees running.
trees run.
Yeah, look at them trees run.
Okay, so I think the best thing that I probably can do is, since this is a druid grove, they're probably not going to worry too much about animals going around. So with my I forgot which invocation it was that gave me this. Oh, Sculptor of Flesh. I'm going to go ahead and cast Polymorph on myself, and I'll just turn myself into a bird.
Alright.
Burb.
And I'm just gonna see if I could fly and get to where I need to be.
Cool. Alright. So you go ahead and transform into a bird flying over the woods, and that's when eventually you kind of spot it, the location of it through the air. While on the ground would require a pathway, through the air it's significantly easier. You are a bird. Hopefully one native to the area. Make a nature check.
I mean, I would have just saw a bird and like changed to it. Is that okay, or?
Yeah, that would work.
It's like I am a scarlet macaw in like a temperate like forest.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second.
That's not a bird at all.
Just like
Wait
a
a
chicken.
minute. Hold up. Something ain't right.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I was really thinking about that. Like, Layla actually would have just like saw like a bird. It's like, okay, that bird's around here, and then turned into that bird because druids are, they have their like obviously druids know fucking animals, but I feel like at the same time they trust animals. That makes sense.
Yeah. Speaking of, you go ahead and land on the taller building and kind of fly your way over to one of the windowsills, which is when one of the druidish people there looks at you and remarks, "Wow, look at the queen feathers on this bird."
Just gonna go ahead and I was like, as a bird, do I just like
Makes
Hold on,
bird
like-
sounds.
yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and just kind of like sit there and just kind of like look and just like wait for like the druid to just kind of like go away or get bored.
All right.
Druid getting bored at looking at animals? He's surely
Maybe.
just.
And just like I'm not gonna do anything like sing a little song because that'll give me away.
Just start singing Frank Sinatra.
That's fun.
Hello, my honey. There you go. Just double check this thing. Go ahead then, and as you're just hanging out there as a bird,
Yeah.
go and make a.
What kind of check are we looking at?
The one that would best match is kind of sitting there.
A waiting check.
Survival. You're trying to survive.
Maybe deception because I'm trying. Maybe deception because I'm trying to deceive them.
Sure, let's go with deception. That probably fits reasonably well in this case. Thankfully, it's not deception by doing anything crazy, like performing, which you wouldn't have been able to do nearly as well.
Yeah, which is why I was like, that's why I'm not singing right now. Okay, let's see. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you stand there, but no bird really just stands there. You got to play it up just a little bit, little foot move over here, flap your wing a little. And then the druid, after about 10 minutes, finally leaves the area.
10 minutes just staring at me.
Yeah, and just being in the room, they're not just staring at you for 10 minutes, but they are in the room, and so you can't exactly get closer without getting suspicion.
One full minute of uninterrupted eye contact.
Yeah, exactly, with the bird. No, so you go ahead and wait, and then you find your opportunity. As soon as they close the door, you're able to scope the scene out. You're currently on the 4th floor of this building, and you need to somehow get into what seems to probably be the 2nd floor instead.
That is a problem. Were there no open windows on the 2nd floor?
No.
Fucked up. Let's see here. I have 2 more spell slots. Okay, let me think here.
What, you didn't like take a rest and go out the next day or something?
I mean, I'm like, but I can also do like as. I mean, I don't need like the spell slots right now, but if a situation occurs, then I'll have to like improvise. But so Layla is going to go ahead and yeah, she'll just go ahead and like, or the druid closed the door, so that's gonna suck. Yeah, I don't think I cannot open that door as a bird, so I really don't have a choice. I have to like kind of just change back to Layla form, but immediately upon doing that, she'll go ahead and just cast invisibility.
Alright.
Or infiltrating now.
The invisibility is cast, and you start making your way through the little building itself to try and make sure that you're able to get to the end. Go and make a stealth check.
Oh, I did forget to mention that also, like, for like heists like this, Layla kind of has like different gear from like when she does like the like just going into the book versus stealthing, so she would have like been attuned with like her boots of Elvenkind.
Alright.
Actually, that doesn't require attunement, but regardless, she just has those boots on instead.
Alright.
So
Go ahead and make that
check.
Yes.
Oh. 23 maybe.
Give me a second.
Uh-oh.
Whoops, I accidentally clicked you when I did that roll.
You've been spotted by 4 big guys.
At one point while you're going on through, right, you're about to open a door and you happen to turn the handle at the same time that they did. And as you kind of hold your breath against the wall, against the other side of the door, as they're walking through, you hear them muttering something to themselves, and you know, they kind of like look around for a second, like kind of shrug and just keep going.
Can I catch what it was they said? Like, can I roll perception?
Something along. Huh, that's weird.
Oh, okay. Okay, Layla just like, I mean, like literally just like, because of what happened last time, like Layla at this point just like minding her chest. And then just will go ahead. I'm like, I was so distraught about that, but
Don't worry, we're all
Not like-
minding your chest.
Not like this.
Not like this. And finally, you managed to locate where inside of this area where it seems that they kind of keep the books, which in this case appears to be inside of a glass container, or actually not a glass container per se, more like a wooden crystal container inside of an area where like sort of a little library area is.
okay. Right. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and check for. I mean, first of all, is there anybody in this library, or is it empty?
Right now, it's quiet.
Okay. That doesn't mean empty though. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look around for see if I can notice anybody. Shit.
It's quiet. There's nobody within view currently.
Okay. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for traps on this thing. I'm going to kill myself.
All right, you give it a good look over.
I have not rolled above a 10.
It's okay, get all the bad rolls out now.
I did for deception. I was probably with the important one. That was the infiltration. Okay.
Fine, you're fine.
And then Layla is going to very carefully see if she can go ahead and open up this container.
All right.
Would that be sleight of hand?
Huh? Yes. Go ahead and give sleight of hand on that.
At least I have a plus. At least I have a plus 19 to that.
Holy shit, my
These
dude.
are so sad.
This is real fucking distressing to watch.
Please.
There it is. It's right there. As you lift it, get ready to try and reach under. The wood suddenly grows
It's
to
a
cover the
mimic.
entire container. As it seems that something had been tripped that your perception wasn't able to have detected, because an 11 is atrocious.
Sure is.
You immediately hear the librarian going, "Hey, what's going on over there?"
Okay,
And
Layla's
it's
gonna go
quickly
ahead.
turned into corner.
Okay, yeah, Layla's literally just gonna go ahead and just like, yeah, once again, just kind of like hide and see if the librarian does something that gives me a second chance here. Like maybe like resets it or whatever.
Oh, it
go
must have been
ahead.
the wind.
Must have been the wind.
No.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, you see that the librarian, once they get over to there, right, it's like they kind of look really puzzled and bewildered as they you see them casting a spell. Must be sending that they're casting.
Okay. The alarm has been raised, but my cover has not been blown yet. I don't have to get out of here just yet.
Right. A small little entourage of 3 other druids just kind of show up over
Getting a little
to
more dicey, but
where
Don't
the
worry about it.
where the wooden container is, right? And the librarian explains about what's going on. Yeah, it just tripped by itself over here. And they note to each other, it doesn't just trip by itself, it's wood. Do you not know how it works? No, I didn't install it, you installed it. We'll go ahead and investigate the area, make sure nothing's tripped up. Keep a watchful eye on and make sure nobody enters for now. As
I'm already inside.
the librarian returns around the corner out of sight while these 3 druids kind of continue to tinker around with the mechanism, and one of them makes it lower back down, but it looks like they're reaching for the books inside, and they're just like they kind of just tuck it over into their sleeves.
They tuck the books into their sleeves.
Yeah, let's go ahead and find a better place for these in the meantime.
No, I'm following this person. I'm following.
Alright, 2 of the druids remain behind to work on the mechanism, while one of them is heading out with the books to someplace else inside of the enclave, it looks like.
Okay.
This is it. It's an opportunity.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and try to swipe the books from from their person.
Alright, go and get that sleight of hand.
Do I get advantage because they can't see? That's not how sleight of hand works. I can't get advantage on that. It's literally just... Okay, this is everything here. Maybe? Maybe?
Hold on. Checking. It's so difficult to find the right angle of attack to be able to reach for these books inside of their sleeves. There's gotta be a way to be able to... Wait a second. A bird shows up, the same kind that you had transformed into, and momentarily distracts your attention for just 2 seconds. It is just enough of an open window that you were able to reach in, grab both books, and create some distance.
Okay, immediately upon having, like, the books, Layla's gonna go ahead and just use the Ring of Shadows and just to, like, a tree that is far from the Enclave.
Alright. And you're out! Mission complete. You managed to find a Tome of Leadership and Influence, and one of the other ones appears to be a Tome of... Which one is it called? I had it and then I lost the... Manual Bodily Health.
No. Pass that shit over.
Leadership and Influence. Let me take a look at that.
Yeah, so you managed to pilfer these 2 books.
Oh, so it just permanently increases my charisma and what was the other one?
Manual of Bodily Health.
Oh, that was that's the Constitution one if I remember properly.
Correct.
Charisma and con, the 2 C's.
Excellent. Did my partners want to sell these, or was this basically like the treasure?
This was essentially the treasure, yeah.
Okay. All right, then I guess I'll just go ahead and yoink.
Yeah. They're gonna add this to their list of renown. That's part of what they're doing. They're like, aha, that was us!
That was us.
Okay,
They
how much?
disguise themselves as trees. Like, I like to imagine just like they had like the middle school play like tree costume. Like,
Hey, whatever works, man.
either that or they were just full on just like prop hunt in the woods.
How much do you need to get your the gun thing?
So the gun is 13,000. I am literally short just under 200 gold.
Lamau?
I know.
It's not.
Maestro will spot you 200.
I would like the book. I don't know, but 200 is a bit cheap.
I mean, how much gold do you have on you?
How much? I don't know. My fucking foundry is not loading anymore. I'm staring at a great screen the whole time.
I mean, suppose it did load. How much gold would it be?
Hypothetically, it'd be at least 2.
Alright. Shit, it's a steal.
It's a few thousand, I don't know. It might be upwards of 10k.
You should have said, I'll give you 200 gold for the Tome of Manual of Bodily Health. You missed out. Trade deal failed.
Let's see, how much are those like usually worth?
Quite a bit. Well, that's going on.
Substantially a lot.
Give me the manual and I will not kick your ass.
Whoa!
Gentlemen, let's make a deal. You surrender and you don't die.
Trade
Kidding,
deal.
I'm not gonna do that.
Alright. Lumps. What you up to for this week?
Oh, you know me, singing my songs. I'm trying to pull together a 2-man act with me and Dorian, where like I sing and he dances. How's that going?
We could certainly try. Let me see. What would that be here? Go ahead and give a performance check, and then also give an animal handling check.
So this is my performance. Hell yeah. And this is my handling of the animal.
Alright. This is certainly a unique show that you have put on here for the crowd. So 2 things happen. The first is that you earn a nice bit of coin from people who were already kind of invested in hearing your shows, right? They came out to hear your music, and then now they got a dance from this gray render on top of that. That's pretty cool. And some fairly generous benefactors have given you substantial tips because they're very impressed with the variance of your performance. You managed to make a solid 3,000 gold pieces.
Incredible.
Boy.
I like to imagine the gray renders just dancing like this.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Got the moves.
Dorian, for their part, has also gotten a little bit better because they become more in tune with you and this this dancing that's happening here. Until your next extended rest, Dorian's dexterity saving throws have increased by 3.
Nice.
Okay.
They got a dance bonus. That's what Dorian's got. I think that matches up with your charisma saves, though. Hey, not really. No, that's what it should be then. That would make more sense. Dorian's dexterity saves are now equal to your charisma saves, so it should be a +9 in total. You'll see that next time a fireball hits or where they're gonna like dance out of the way of it. It's gonna look sick.
Nice.
And that's the extent of what happened
right now.
Whoa. Alright, that's the extent of that. Ash, you're up for this week.
Oh, alright. I suppose I would like to. I'm trying to think. Phoenix, what were you thinking of doing? Just curious first.
Well, I think he might try to finish up his final investigation into that last professor, that mysterious soul professor.
Right, because I was thinking if it would be useful for me to try to do research about dragon history here.
Dragon history.
Dragons.
Wagon.
Wagons.
Dragons.
Alright,
Dragon
that's what
history.
I'm gonna do. I would like to do some research about any history of Candlekeep regarding dragons, silver dragons, methods of, I guess, keeping dragons, and the leash here, that kind of thing.
Alright. So we'll go with that. Ash, go ahead and make a Arcana check and an investigation check.
Okay, let's see. Investigation, come on. Oh, who did we just lose?
Oh, Malarco's PC's restarting.
Oh, okay.
Unlucky.
No!
Oh,
Oh,
my goodness.
Yikers.
I feel that so hard.
Hurts me so deep.
Felt.
So you spend a lot of time doing dragon research, and for the most part, you do find a lot of good information. And the problem is, it's a lot of information you already knew, for the most part. But you did find at least one piece of information. Finally, after all of your searching for all the different kinds of dragons that you could find, one, you find some weird person's account of like a dragon that kind of looks like a brain, and that's a little bit weird and doesn't seem that interesting. What's more notable is that kind of in the margins near it, there seems to be an account of undead type dragons, specifically deaf dragons. And as an addendum to that about deaf dragons, there is a part about ghost dragons.
Ew,
And
interesting.
well, looking up information about ghost dragons, what you find is that the nature of being a ghost has a tendency of causing creatures to go mad is maybe kind of a strong word, but being on the mortal plane beyond one's lifespan as a ghost is not a ticket to immortality, because it has a tendency of causing psychosis and other very notable detriments that can cause memories to shift around, emotions to go quite hard, and also potentially creates a very singularly focused mind on certain things. This is why many ghosts have revenge. Ghost dragons, it seems, are not immune to this. It just takes much longer, on the span of a couple hundred years, before it finally starts kicking in.
Interesting. I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And with that high arcana, you even managed to kind of piece things together about why the silver dragon doesn't seem to be quite so benevolent anymore.
Yes, I just loved how it was like my arcana with the wonderful modifier. It was like, yeah, we'll roll decent, and then I rolled my investigation, and it was like, yep.
Ass.
Yep.
This reminds me of trying to teach Murph how to speak a language, and then it's like you can teach them really well, but you're teaching them the wrong things, depending on like the combination of roles.
Very sad. Yep.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, or you teach them you're teaching them all the correct information, just being taught really badly so they don't pick up on any of it.
Sounds
Can't tell
right.
which is worse. Hey Tony, it's your week.
It
Funny.
is of my week. Okay, so like I'm trying to figure out how to make it so that Tony's absence for the past like month and a half has been like noted sort of. And I think like because she's from kind of like nearby. Wait, actually, how far is Baldur's Gate from where we are?
The distance over to Baldur's Gates through teleportation, like a few hours away, because you just have to kind of get down there to
Okay,
where the base
so-
of the hill is.
So I was thinking because she's from Baldur's Gate, she'll kind of be going back home to her family. I'm sort of, like the story of Tony is that she has like a ton of like siblings that she always like competes with, sort of. Like they're all like big brawly men with big swords, and she's just trying to one up them. And it's like the family how do I put it? It's like the family's competition right now. So they have like a tournament that they're hosting, and she has been going back home to like help with the prepare, and like also she wants to compete. So it's sort of like a big deal to her because she wants to like prove that she's gotten better at her craft or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what she's been doing for the past couple of weeks that she's been sort of gone, and now she's sort of like back, but yeah, I don't know how well she did though. Maybe we can do some checks.
All right, let's find out how well this went. Let's see. Go ahead and make an athletics check and then one attack roll.
Okay. One sec. Oops. Where? Here. I'm gonna make the attack roll.
Patao.
That's not great. And here's the athletics.
All right. So while the actual weapon training didn't quite belay as much as expected, you did manage to gain a level from it. So that's the reason why you're still keeping up in levels despite some having not been there with the rest of the party through some of these adventures. But on the bright side, while you didn't quite go as far in the tournament and against your siblings as you would have liked, your body has become hardier and more conditioned just because of the sheer amount of physical like constant adaptability and stress that you kind of had to fight with all the time. And so you actually have a +2 bonus to your strength until your next extended rest.
Augers. That's other effects, right? Temporary effects.
Yeah.
See if I could make it. +2.
All that training has gotten your body into high gear, as it were.
I have no idea how to like program it, but I'm just gonna put it there so I remember that I have it.
Alright, reasonable.
So yeah, she comes back sort of in the library in Candlekeep, and she looks kind of like sort of disappointed that she didn't like measure up to her siblings, but also kind of hopeful that she'll get to do it in the future. She just keeps working hard.
That's the way. That's the way.
She'll also tell everybody like that she's a failure.
No, no, not like this.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll get him next time.
Put me in, coach.
That hurts.
Even though put me in,
Actually-
coach isn't a thing that is said anymore, I'm going to continue saying it because it sounds natural and I think it's funny.
You know, like when I was imagining like the siblings that she has is sort of like Set from League, is what I was imagining when I was thinking about her like siblings. So yeah,
They're jerks, but they love you, so.
it's true.
Let's see. Phoenix. No, Millarca, actually. Sorry. Millarca.
Woo! Okay, so I guess I gotta spend what, 8 hours is it? Doing the tome to get my con. Other than that, back to the clothiers. I have, what have I got? I got expertise in weaver's tools now, and leather workers tools, and
Alright.
smith's tools.
Layla
So
would also
I'll start making some stuff, I guess.
Layla would
Maybe some,
also
like-
go ahead and just like read her book too. Just gonna throw that out there. Sorry.
Yeah, making some starting to conceptualize some new fashions, some new items. Maybe make something pretty cool. Also, I gotta make a corset for Layla, so her fucking puppy stops swanging when she's trying to fucking be stealthy.
Swinging.
So that's what
I'm
we're
not
doing now?
necessarily sure
Swinging.
if that's how a corset functions. I know corsets just push things up.
Yeah, I feel like
It squeezes them tighter a little bit, but not like a ton.
Not- Yeah, it's
But regardless, a corset sounds really cool. It also gives me an excuse to get more art. So
What
hmm.
color do you want it?
what's up?
What color do you want it?
The corset?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of got like a dark blue thing going right now. So
Alright, making some navy, some like cool swirly designs or some shit on it maybe.
yeah, it sounds cool as fuck.
Alright. Let's see how this goes. You go ahead and try to measure up to your clientele. Go ahead and make a history check, and then make a check of your weaver's tools using either your dexterity, wisdom, or intelligence, your choice.
Nice. History. Weaver's tools. Pog.
Up to this point, you've you've been practicing, you've been working on this since the start. You've been having just absolutely determined to make this work. Having gotten extra assistance, trying even when you weren't sure, studying up, studying history, studying the ways and practicing in all of your spare downtime. Finally, when you bring out the corset and what else are you making actually?
I don't know. What would I make? I'd make some like. For sure, what would I make? I would start with making some. I guess just some like top pieces, shirts, blouses, maybe like a scarf.
Right. Pretty nice arrangement. You bring it over to the person that manages the outfitters and clothiers, and they're looking at these, right? And for the first time, you see inside of their eyes astonishment. These are really good. And not like a little good, these are really good. And while they don't say as much, because they've always been kind of a hard ass, what they do tell you is, can you make 9 more of these? Exactly like this one.
I'd probably be spending, some time doing it, but yeah, absolutely.
Splendid.
You begin work on it, Malarka, by the end of the week. I mean, you have some time, right? You're recovering your old bones from your adventuring tribulations here. They sell fast, and you make a very, very sizable, very whopping 8,000 gold pieces from the sale of them to some very wealthy benefactors that can appreciate the artistic integrity.
Nice.
She is very excited. She's very ecstatic. She's very happy. And she will, after they sell pretty quickly, she will brag to Maya excessively.
Oh, yeah, did I tell you about how I sold all my stuff? Yeah. You mentioned it yesterday. And today. And earlier.
and tomorrow. Yeah, so Monarcha's doing well. Mayev also is doing something, kind of. With the help of, one of the wolves out of the stables, she will come up to Phoenix's office, hopefully while he's in there.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix will probably be. He's not there like always, but especially during this particular week. But I'm sure at some point maybe he just walked in there. He's there.
Hello there, Phoenix. It's been a while since we've actually kind of talked, hasn't it?
Greetings, Malarka. Yes, how may I have assistance?
So I've done some slight research myself, kind of. Oh. I gotta find myself in the rack myself. Oh, there you are. Hello, me. Yeah, I've done some research myself. You know how I'm still kind of afflicted with the jelly condition, you know?
Yes, I'm sorry I haven't gotten too much time to look into your particular condition. I'm terribly sorry about it.
No worries. I know everyone's busy. It's just I've kind of figured out that this condition, it's not exactly medical, it's not exactly magical in nature. It's kind of tied to my soul in a way. Um, and then I heard something about you searching for or experimenting with some kind of soul rats or something. I don't know.
Yes, I'm currently in the process right now of looking into finding a particular professor here in this particular academy that specifically works with soul magic. I hadn't considered the possibility that they may also aid in your particular condition. And even more reason why I gotta continue looking for them.
Yes, that's quite fortunate you were already kind of in that direction. Yeah, it's so my affliction is kind of tied to my soul at the moment, and to get it off, I would need to kind of pawn it onto another soul in a way. So,
I'm not entirely certain what that entails, but perhaps speaking with this professor might yield more valuable results than speaking with me. I will do my best to endeavor to continue my search.
brilliant.
I feel as
help
though I'm
is-
really close, though.
Oh, how close?
I've investigated. Phoenix turns to Watsar and pulls out his previous notes. Like we've investigated thoroughly the most of the campus, and we've narrowed it down to very few locations, I believe. So we
Wow,
just
that's
got to
excellent.
just spend the rest of this week having a look at that. Actually, perhaps you can be of assistance, Maya.
I'm on limited time. As I've gotten better at maneuvering myself, I'm still kind of flimsy and may fall at inopportune times. If you can handle that kind of dragging me around occasionally, then I would be more than happy to help.
I see. I don't want to pressure you too much. If you want, you could just take your time resting here, and I'll continue the rest of my search. Please, please have some snacks.
Mm.
Like there'll be snacks located at his office, even though Phoenix can't eat them.
You see
Everyone
Watsar is munching on some crackers.
It's Walter's stash.
You say like snacks, I just imagine like before you said crackers, I just imagine like Watsar with like a bowl of Doritos, like.
You think Watsar's a Dorito man? I don't know if they're. I could see a hot Cheeto man there, but I don't know about a Dorito.
Flaming hot Cheetos, okay.
No, see,
Yeah,
imagine Watsar just like, may I pour you a drink? And he just like opens up a can of Baja Blast, pours it in a cup.
Oh no.
Oh, I see. Baja Blast isn't quite to your taste. They pull out some Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah.
That's Doctor.
No, Mr. Pibb. Actually, sorry.
Mr. Pibb. When you realize Mr. Pibb in D&D is just Lord Pibb.
Lord Pibb.
Lord with an E.
Lord Pibb and Witch Dr. Pepper.
Hey, there's a brewery near me that's called Lord Hobo, so.
Oh my god.
There's a brewery near me that's called Hobsane. It's really good.
I'm not particularly fond of most snacks, I think. I'll head out with you for a while, but if I start getting flimsy, I'll have the wolf drag me back.
Of course. Then let's be on our way.
Energy to love.
Detective Phoenix is on the case.
You see there's a very large wolf that trots out by Maya's side as you exit the building.
I don't recall you having that.
I just found him in one of the environments in the stables.
Found it.
Found it.
Found it.
Adding topaz.
You just see Phoenix. You just see Phoenix walk up to it, and then with a quick cast to speak with animals, he says, "It is a pleasure to meet you. My name is I'm Phoenix Down, Detective of Waterdeep. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Wolf.
Oh, wolf.
Speak with animals. They just say wolf anyway.
Right. Now, time to begin. I'm guessing that's my week rest now.
Yes, it is now time for yours.
Right. I believe the last time it's been like 3 weeks or like 2 weeks because the last 2 weeks Phoenix had other important duties to do. But Phoenix can remember everything from a week back, or not week, a month back. So. No, isn't it a year now? I thought Keyman was buffed to a year.
For which part?
How far Phoenix can remember things.
Is it
past
key
month.
mine?
Yeah, it's past a month.
Oh, past month? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but it's only been 3 weeks, so Phoenix definitely still recalls all the information he did before the last time he did this. So, there's like rats, like being disappearing from or like very limited on the campus and stuff like that. and then there's also the strand of hair, or like the strand, or like the thing that he kept that had the location for the professor. And of course, using the finder's goggles, I don't think Phoenix, even now, Phoenix still can't fail that check. To use the finder's goggles, which is an investigation check. Do you still want me to make it?
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and see it.
Okay, so finder's goggles says here. DC 13 plus the number of days since the last contact occurred. Oh god, so hold on. 3 weeks is actually kind of high. That puts it up at 7.
44.
21.
What was it?
Oh, 34.
34? Okay, so it's still technically possible. It's just got to be absolutely a cracked roll for me to use this. So let's see if I can get it.
I mean, a lot of people have been rolling low for now, so.
God, you tell me.
Hold on. I'll also get a D4 on top of that.
Jeez.
Is that a nat 1?
Yeah.
34, exactly.
Let's
Easy.
go.
Worried?
Crack roll.
I can't believe you rolled a nat one. Good lord. Oh, yeah.
Technically, nat 1 turns to an 8 thanks to Phoenix's ability.
That's a good ability.
Phoenix's ability.
It's my eye for detail. No, not eye for
There's-
detail. It's one of my abilities. Hold on. I know
Is
it's
there-
one of. Sorry.
Oh no! Wait. Am I thinking of something else? I know there's a rogue ability.
Ear for
that gives you
deceit.
a minimum.
Ear for deceit.
Possibly reliable talent.
There's reliable talent, but Phoenix specifically gets ear for deceit, which makes any insight checks automatically as low as an 8.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's earlier than reliable talent.
Explains why it's lower too.
Yeah. So yeah, that hits, I believe, Aqua. 34 was the DC.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
All right. And remind me again what the effect is. Oh, right, it's right there. Finder's Gog.
I can use locate creature on the professor.
All right. And I believe this is when you were doing the investigation check to see if you could locate where around campus. You already checked one part of campus, so the DC is going to be lower because you don't have to search quite the same ground, as it were. Although for an extra dimensional citadel like this, what constitutes the same ground kind of varies pretty considerably.
Yeah. So, what check do I roll here?
Investigation.
Oh yeah, you'd love to hear it.
Okay.
34.
Give me a second. Okay. So, you go ahead and begin the process of searching. And as you're going around campus and trying to get more of a ping off, as you're going through one certain part of the university, especially around where the lunch hall is, it pings off of one particular individual there who appears to be eating a sandwich.
You were scaring me for a second. I thought you were eating rats.
No, it's a lunch hall. That'd be weird. Alonso has rat meat in it.
Rat meat. Phoenix will like, I guess if Maev is like with him at this time, he pauses as soon as he gets the ping, and then he looks in the general direction, and he starts walking up to the individual that's having their sandwich. Excuse me.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes. My name is Detective Phoenix Down. I am the resident detective of this establishment. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, I see. I thought that you might have been a student who had a question about something. What can I do for you?
Am I to assume that you are a professor here, sir?
Yeah, you in a sense of the word, yes. Although currently I don't have any classes that I am teaching, so it's more of a academic title, per se. There's not exactly things that you might consider to be tenured, but you could consider it to be along the same principle.
I do believe I have been looking for you. Are you the professor that is in the realm of soul magic?
Yes, a lot of people try to avoid talking about it very much, but yes, I have been studying it quite a bit recently. I've gotten a few notes of interest, though it's all very tentative. I will be writing a research paper about it later.
I look forward to reading it. But, Professor, I have been tasked with trying to find you. You are surprisingly difficult to find, I must say.
Well, I don't have the results right now, and there is a certain stigma attached with the type of line of work that I tend to focus on. With so many other professors here, it's not exactly like I go advertising what I'm doing. Only results can speak when you have so much competition.
I see. I understand. Well, Professor, if you don't mind, can you possibly provide me with some details as to where your office, maybe some office hours, where the individuals that would like to speak with you. Actually, I have one with me right now. Phoenix will basically allow Maiev to introduce themselves. He steps aside, so.
What was his name again?
Oh yeah, forgive me, Professor. You have not introduced yourself.
My name, I am Professor Yogard. You said that your name was Phoenix?
Yes, I am Detective Phoenix Down. You may find me as Phoenix provides him his address card or whatever. Basically, his identifier to find his office.
It's always funny, these identifiers, because they're like almost like coordinates sometimes, with the way that these halls twist and turn.
Yeah, so basically he hands him the card that has the coordinates to Phoenix Down's office.
Interesting. Well, it's good to meet your acquaintance. I'm not sure exactly how much of assistance I can provide, but if you are looking for some information, I might be able to assist with some of the basics. Something. Soul magic is an interest of study of mine. I've been experimenting with it.
Yes, my colleague here has a vested interest in soul magic in particular due to their own current condition. Oh, forgive me. I should let you, Maiev, explain further.
Yes. Hello, Professor Yoga. My name is Maya, and I've been afflicted with something very unique. Someone call it a curse, but it's not quite that. My bones have been replaced with like goo, kind of. I am more an aquatic creature in nature now than I am humanoid in a way. And this affliction has kind of been tied to my soul directly, so that neither magic nor medicine can cure it. The only way I have discovered through a bit of research myself is that I would have to kind of remove this piece from my soul and place it onto the soul of another.
I see. the souls are much like cups. You can think of them. It's not a perfect analogy, but it does explain a little bit about some of the difficulty with why this affliction. I understand why you may be having trouble with it. If, for example, you were to put sugar into water and then told to remove the sugar, you might find it to be a difficult process without some special techniques or refinements like evaporating the water itself. I think based on the nature of what may be afflicting you, there may be some promise here, though I make no guarantees, since, fortunately, the transfer of souls is the specialty that I've been working with, specifically between those of various bodies, and it seems like it is a tangential refinement of that very subject.
Maiev, appears generally excited. She is looking forward to maybe getting back in on some of the action around the Candlekeep. She will say to Professor Yogar, that sounds great. If there is maybe some way that I can help you in whatever it is that you need to refine your research further, I'm kind of not doing much these days, so I may be of assistance.
I can show you over to where my office is, although it's at times it feels more like a laboratory than an office. Please mind the rats. I hope you're not afraid of them.
If
No.
Professor Yargar I guess leads the way, you just see Phoenix just like memorizing every detail to how to get here.
Rats don't bother me any. I'm a friend to all animals, for the most part.
Right, give me just a second.
What's an interesting way of conducting your studies?
Well,
No, I suppose.
I suppose that the willing subjects are difficult to find. I can't exactly ask the students to stand in for me.
Understandable.
I mean, you could. You just might run into some ethical issues there.
Well, I didn't always try with rats. There were some sentient mushrooms I tried with once. Didn't work.
Were they really sentient then?
Well, the difficulty was not in the sentience, the difficulty was in the mushrooms.
Got the whole
I'm
flavor, I
still
see.
picking off some of the spores from my clothes sometimes.
Little guys.
As that's probably where that can end off for now, and I'll tell you the result of that later. Zashi, meanwhile.
Oh, I apologize. There were two things I wanted to accomplish this week. So the first was that, and the second was that every night Phoenix will read a good portion of that book about the history or the foundation of Candlekeep.
Reading through that history of Candlekeep does give a kind of more of a timeline of sorts about exactly the sequence of events that seems to have transpired. In order, it appears that Torf, first, a good portion about there's like a prologue about who Torf is, a very powerful archmage, and also the author of this book, who, was quite powerful in a variety of different types of magic, but especially inside of, which magic would that be called? I want to say it's abjuration magic, but I'm actually not totally sure. Let me check. Yeah, it's abjuration. I thought so. A master of abjuration magic. And so because of that, their talents were called when a silver dragon was said to have attacked Candlekeep. Torf, inside of her notes, even describes that they don't think this dragon was attacking per se, but rather was just looking to expand its territory and then was aggressed on by the wizards that were at Candlekeep, but misunderstandings aside, they had a job to do. Torf battled this silver dragon, and then successfully managed to bind them to serve as a guardian of Candlekeep. In the resulting bits and pieces, it becomes apparent that one other question becomes answered, which is that, somewhat, almost in a pitiful kind of way, it was Torf that provided Miriam power to be able to create little demi-planes within these books for them to store as part of their hoard, almost as compensation of sorts for their job of protecting the Citadel from outside attackers. And indeed,
so
that
there's the
remained Miriam's
answer.
job.
So Miriam basically was given that ability by Torf. Yep, sorry, continue.
Yes. The book continues on more about like what Torf's goals with seeing Candlekeep and seeing the potential inside of it as a repository of valuable information. Despite how much information it has, it had been neglected for some time at like kind of like a lull, and they sought to try and expand its influence to be a little bit on the stronger side of things, and to that end, they were the ones that created most of the structures that you see around here now. The ending of the book promises such great insights to hoping for a bountiful future full of knowledge and prosperity. And then book ends on a hopeful note, though you know that Torf ended up dying at some point in the future.
Yeah. Okay, one last thing in regards to this. What was like the, I guess, initial contract that Miriam was specifically, what was his entire duty? Like, did his duty include keeping things in his hoard or not?
It looks like Miriam's sole duty was to defend Candlekeep and to obey the instructions of the master of Candlekeep, which Torf was for a short period of time until they passed it off to somebody else.
Which was most likely Aaron Quill. Okay, so basically, his only job was to protect Candlekeep, but not to enslave individuals. Is that my understanding? Or at least, interesting. Okay. Phoenix being the law-abiding character, he is breaking contract. At least, the old contract. All right, good to know.
Interesting.
Zashi, what you up to this week?
I'm gonna spend time around the ship, make sure that it's being maintained properly, and meditate on my aspect to try and expand it, I guess.
Big
Right.
keeper.
Fire.
Where I need
More
more
fire.
than I have.
More fire.
There can only be more fire.
There's always more fire to be had.
Oh, give me a second. I'm trying to do some math here. Okay, so go ahead and roll that insight check and arcana check as you find yourself a nice hot rock to sit on and meditate upon.
Oh,
Such a Boda. That's a nice
Oh!
Boda. Oh!
Yo.
The duality of man.
duality of man.
Duality,
Nice.
man.
Oh my goodness.
Duality.
All right. Wait one second, I'm just thinking. So you try first, trying to dig deeper to try and expand upon your insight into yourself. See if you can further harness the flame that you already possess, but you're struggling with it today. your mind keeps being distracted by Fireball and further ambition. No. Perhaps there's more that can be done than simply becoming stronger with what you already have. There's room, always room, for more fire. You are sure of this? And so, digging deeply and considering and contemplating what your options might be, you go ahead and unlock a new aspect of your, well, aspect. Give me a second, it didn't save, and now I had to type it again. Unlucky.
Aspect of flame.
They already had this, to be fair. The next part is what would be new.
So he already had to increase the fireball
Aspect
radius.
of flame squared.
I would like an
Aspect of flames, plural.
There we go.
Damn.
Neat.
My face when you just dimension door Malarka and she takes 3d10 plus.
God. That'd be fucking wild.
I was supposed to say fire damage, my bad.
Just imagine just like
So even your even your non-fire damage do fire damage.
Hey, you know what that means? Counterspell does damage.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Ugh.
3d10 plus your charisma modifier damage to targets of a spell that does not deal damage. Holy shit, my dude.
You make counterspell deal damage. That's wild.
Jesus. I'm not playing this game correctly, God.
There's always
Really
room
curious
for
to
more
see-
fire.
curious to see what other aspects people got. Like, I don't guess we get like aspect of gun or something.
Aspect
Uh,
of gut.
I mean, my favorite one was
Lock.
still Aspect of Chance, which, I mean, the character is dead that had it, but not because of the aspect. But it's really funny.
Rest in peace, Jake.
Yeah. Just these-
I'm part of the aspect of law crew, apparently.
Imagine having an aspect.
I think I don't know if it actually mattered, but I think my aspect of law saved me from being dead.
But you, however, are aspectless.
That's right.
No aspect?
Aspectless.
No aspects.
Aspectless
no.
behavior.
Why?
Aspectless behavior?
Damn it. Don't have to be like that, guys. Come on.
Yeah, Aspect of Chance is probably my favorite aspect because it's so dumb. Really funny. And that worked on Death Rolls too, which was really funny on top of that.
This
Alright,
is off topic, but anybody here play Final Fantasy 14?
I did for a little bit, but probably not enough to get many references.
I just bring this up because I saw this tweet and it's really funny because it's literally the same. It's the same director. It's the same director for both games.
Right? Finally, Mishra, your week commences.
Okay, Mishra. Honestly, Mishra is probably going to do the same thing she's been doing for the last few weeks. Help out at the clinic and the temple, as well as looking more into passing along magical inheritances.
All right, I remember these. Like every single time you rolled well on one, but then roll poorly on your medicine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But this time will be different.
Man, this is the one.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Alright, so tell me again about remind me how you want to go about this.
So the clinic that's just basic clinic, helping out where she can, using her knowledge to fix things, etc. Using her magic when she needs to. For the investigation, she's going to check to see if there have been any, published works like have been mentioned a few times about magical inheritances, and she's looking for any of them, but mostly the methods in which magical inheritances are passed down without requiring genealogy or a bloodline connection.
I see. And how are you investigating this?
So mostly she is she's probably going to ask around different places in the library to see if she's going to check with any librarians, see if there have been any relatively recent publications or old publications of studies done, any journals that people have put out about magical inheritances, and then however many she gets, she is going to go through those and compare the methods in which one is passed said magical inheritance, and compare how specifically the ones without genetic inheritance go about doing that passing along. Mostly through bookwork, but she is going to ask a bit at the clinic while she's there as well.
I guess I'm still not entirely certain exactly what you're looking for, because that seemed kind of a bit all over the place.
She doesn't want to pass along her mark of healing. Basically. And she's looking for ways for other people to do that without it being ridiculously expensive. So she's researching related topics because she doubts it is an actual topic most people would think of.
How to not pass along a mark of healing?
No, how to pass along a mark of healing or similar abilities without actually having sex and having kids.
Asexually.
Yes. She is ace. She's a sex repulsed asexual. And
What the hell
she
did I
does
return?
not
This is
want
a
any of that
Wendy's.
shit.
What did I tune back into? Like,
This is a
Don't worry about it.
Wendy's.
all right.
Basically,
am-
also, have you seen Naruto? You know how they gouge each other's eyeballs, and that's how they have their magic powers.
Oh, I see.
Can
You're
we
right.
do
You're right.
something like that?
Right. Taking the eyes out.
Yeah,
All right.
that's exactly what she's looking for. You get it now?
Yeah. Sharingans. Let's go.
Yes, there you go.
I like to
We
believe
do
that all
close enough.
organs are. I like to believe that all organs are plug and play. Just take them out.
If you're
put 'em
looking
in.
for this information,
they're
this isn't
not?
a medicine check though. This would
Like
just be
light bulbs.
investigation.
Yeah, which is why it's been going so poorly for her, because she is not trained in this kind of thing.
I think it was investigation and medicine for her work at the clinic. I think that's
Yeah.
what was going on. That's why we
Yeah,
have.
'cause
You always
she's
made
still
those.
working at the clinic.
Yeah, she always rolled well at her medicine checks, but poorly in investigation before.
Yes. Let me check the results of this.
Kind of like right now, again.
Yeah.
She's got a -1 int, so
Yeah.
why did that double click my medicine? Oops. Did someone else click that? I don't remember clicking my medicine. Whatever.
Yeah. So, your work at the clinic continues as there's so many people on campus. Really, I mean, you can even see how crowded it is now, and it's not getting any less crowded anytime soon. And so your help with assisting other people is quite appreciated. Unfortunately, this topic you're looking for is very specific. Very, very specific. This investigation roll is insufficient for it.
Oh yeah,
The-
she makes no progress with that.
Yes. On the bright side, your skill with medicine has at least gotten you some amount of renown, and people, including those who are a little bit more influential, are beginning to specifically request for your assistance. Sometimes whenever they're having ailments. Not very regularly now, but you are getting more renown. And that means that you are getting access to being able to talk with people who might know more information. But that's about the extent of what happens here.
Yeah. Not too surprised.
Investigating is hard. It's hard and nobody understands.
Says you.
So
Wow.
see, my explanation of what I was looking for worked out great because she can't communicate the idea super well.
Imagine having I'm gonna stop now.
I literally just imagine somebody just saying like, man, investigating is hard, and then a Phoenix just like walking by, just going like extreme diff, and then just continue walking.
Wow.
Nailed it,
You know
bitch.
what?
Rip.
If Phoenix has his own work and she doesn't want to bother him, otherwise she would ask him to help her investigate.
Admittedly,
I mean, that's what Maestro basically did. Maestro was like, I'm now good at investigating. Phoenix!
no, it wasn't Maestro. It was Ash. She basically was just like, hey,
There's Ash and Maev.
yeah, both
Yeah.
of them, the same. They were both looking for the same thing. You know, just like, yeah, I'm really bad at investigating. Can you help me out? And
Yeah.
Phoenix just like, yeah, sure. I got
Pretty
you."
much.
Detective time.
It's why we're in a team, okay? It's to help each other. Like how I carried Phoenix on my fucking bare hands for an hour so he could read up in the air. Like,
Nerd.
Imagine
What a
literally.
nerd.
I literally just imagine just like Layla going up to Phoenix, just like, so theoretically, if one were to steal something, what would be like the most valuable thing in this area?
Purely hypothetically, of course.
Very hypothetical for educational reasons.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know you're definitely not getting a lie across the Phoenix. You know that, right?
No.
They don't even say anything. They just stare at you, and you're like, all right, good talk.
Good talk, buddy. Good talk.
All right. Pat on the back. All right. Good conversation.
You saw my lowest insight roll, right? Freaking 31.
This is a very just short tangent. I just thought it was funny. When I was teaching, I had this one student that ate with me during lunch groups, and it was nice because we got along really well. One day they enter my classroom between passing periods, and they're like, "Oh, Mister, could you write me a hall pass because I'm late to class because of X, Y, or Z reason?" I'm like, "Okay, fine, but don't make a habit of it." So I gave them a hall pass so they wouldn't be late. About a week later, they show up into my class again. They're like, "Hey, could I have another hall pass because of X, Y, Z reason?" It was for a good reason. I was like, I didn't even say anything this time. I just went over to the hall pass, wrote it, and I just handed it over. About 2 weeks later,
Oh my
they
god.
just walk into my classroom and they don't even say anything. They just kind of have a look on their face, and I'm just kind of staring at them, and they're just staring at me. So I walk over to the hall pass, and I wordlessly just go ahead and fill it out and sign it, right? And as I'm handing it over to them, I hit them on the head with the pass, and they go, "Ow!" Let's take the pass, and they just wordlessly leave. Not a single word was exchanged during the entire arrangement.
That's amazing.
You just knew.
Yeah. Like, stop that. I'm busy. Yeah, that's all. Speaking of that's all, your extended rest has reached a conclusion as you all have accomplished basically what you saw, at least attempted to do during this week.
All right, and I guess with that, Phoenix will take his leave from his detective office. He'll leave Maev to assist to continue working on, or at least maybe assisting the professor with the soul research.
And in fact, there is some productiveness that happened during that time, as when Malarka shows up next, they have some very interesting news. It seems that the experimentation or attempt was a success, as you now see that it is Malarka that has the fishy skin and not Maev. But they
Yeah, I
tell
wasn't-
you
I
that they
wasn't-
have found a way to be able to reliably switch back and forth with Professor Yorgar's help to transfer the
Fishy
curse between each
skin.
other.
Fishy,
I-
fishy.
I am glad to see your condition as well, Maya, but was Malarko really the only willing being?
It's quite the complicated bit. Don't think too much into it.
I guess I
worry
will not
about
dig
it.
too. I'll not dig into your two private affairs, I suppose.
You know who would have been willing for Maev? Alan.
Oh, it hurt.
Oof.
Either way, I am glad
Critical
to
hit.
see that your condition looks well, Maya. I'm glad that the procedure or process worked out in your favor.
Before, like, as you're saying that, Malarka kind of like hits her on the back. Malarka hits Maev like on the back, and the fishy scales kind of just like transfer between the two, and Malarka like runs off towards the door.
I see.
Maev kind of like stumbles for a second, but regains some composure as she summons the wolf to drag her around again.
We'll get that fixed as soon as we can.
I'm afraid that there's no quite fixing it, I suppose. It's just
There's a
call it
lot that could be done
call
here,
it
and knowledge
call
of
it a
time.
running joke, I suppose. We're just kind of literally running with a joke here, because it's funny how this is just so stupid. And the wolf just like drags her away.
Sad. All right. Phoenix will continue to wait at the Emerald Door until eventually Ash will show up. Whenever they show up.
Boop, boop. There we go. Who are you people? All right.
Who are you people? Right. So, like around the time that Ash arrives, Phoenix will approach Ash. I suppose that you are all you're well and truly rested after the week. As he reaches into his suit and pulls out the card with the coordinates to Professor Yorgar's lab or office. As he hands it to Ash. With that, my task to you is completed. I will be expecting payments in the form of 100 gold pieces.
Of course. I immediately pay you.
He takes the payment.
That was easy.
Remove that.
Wow, Phoenix, I didn't think you'd charge a friend.
Damn, it took like I was expecting more. It took like 4 weeks for it to come to fruition.
He's giving Ash a super discount because they
Yes,
are.
and it goes without saying, Phoenix, that if you need my help with anything, that you can always ask.
If I ever need your Arcana expertise, I know who to turn to.
Gotcha.
Your knowledge of the magical world far exceeds my own. By the way, I have plenty of information to relay in regards to the history of this place, but probably we shouldn't speak of it out here.
Well, we need to decide what it is our next steps are anyway, right now.
And just like a really crazy thought about like the whole like fishy flesh transfer thing. So,
Oh no.
A fishy
so-
transfer.
I was literally just thinking. So like I said it's like I was just like, you know who would have been willing? Alan. I'm looking at like the armorer thing. So one of the things here is that the armor replaces any missing limbs functioning identically to its body part as it's replacing. So technically, what we could happen is we could just go like full cyberpunk here. Alan replaces his limbs, and he lives in the armor.
He is the armor.
Oh my god.
Are you trying to
From-
pull Full Metal Alchemist?
I was
It
gonna
sounds
say
like you're
this
trying
is
to
a
pull
Full
Full
Metal
Metal
Alchemist
Alchemist.
right now.
From
mean,
the moment I
cool,
understood
though.
the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
God. This is
Alan-
Alan's transformation arc into a Warforged. Right?
You just go full cyberpunk. Oh god, that'd be really dark for him, but
That's a Victor from League of Legends, too.
also literally. Wait, Adelaila's here with her big, shiny fucking gun. It is Topaz.
It's so bad, gun.
It's Topaz. It probably looks like a fucking. It probably looks like a sniper rifle since it's like it has like a range of like 100 feet.
Phoenix looks at your direction, sees that you have a very, very fancy and expensive looking gun now, and ponders for a brief moment as to how you're making the funds to get this kind of stuff. But then he figures he might as well leave you to your personal business.
Besides, ignorance is bliss here.
You're lucky. Ignorance is bliss.
How do you? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Just say Malarka paid for it and it's not a lie.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
only if he asked, but he didn't.
Although I guess if everyone's trying to figure out what they're doing next, we can change the setting. It's like a cool
Well-
place to discuss strategy.
Phoenix's
I call one
office.
of them.
Oh, this is a cool place.
I'm gonna sit in one of the chairs.
Phoenix will obviously sit down on his main chair.
You said sit in the chairs like Layla sits on your lap, just for fun. Like Layla sit in the other chair.
Right.
Malarka
I
is,
suppose we should begin to
looking out the
the
window.
discussion as to where exactly to continue. Actually, I'll go ahead and just briefly explain the synopsis. Phoenix will just reiterate what I learned a while ago about the beginnings of Candlekeep, blah blah blah, Torf, the head honcho, Silver Dragon probably looking to expand the territory. The mages of Candlekeep were all like, no, screw you. Maybe it wasn't an actual attack. They don't know, but they either way they enslaved the actual Silver Dragon to basically into servitude of the defense of Candlekeep.
I see. Well, based on what
And
you say,
by the way, specifically speaking, Phoenix will mention that the initial goal given to them by Torf, before the headmaster, before Quill, specifically states that they were to just defend Candlekeep. It had no right to actually steal souls.
I'll chime in about just how some research I did into dragons and specifically ghosts. Well, being a ghost can drive anyone mad, and dragons are no exception, so it is possible that Miriam is strayed from their original reserve or logic that they may have had behind their role as a sentinel to a state of obsession or psychosis. I have a question though. It's you determined and found that it was Torf who actually gave Miriam the demi-plane ability. I still wonder within all of this how it is that Arent Quill came here and acquired this role, apparently, and how it is exactly that his own abilities, if indeed he has still these beholder abilities, which would make sense. He says he is many hundreds of years old right now. How that just seems to fit in here, and how his own abilities may be used, or if this is truly all just the dragon.
As I mentioned, it's difficult to know exact. I know you described to me his powers briefly before before the book actually ended. It is difficult for me to say in regards to how much degree of power Quill has when it comes to Candlekeep. We know that the
I mean-
demi-plates were initially created by Torf. We have seen, or at least I have heard once again from Jacob, that he had the ability to wipe away the pyramids that were outside of Candlekeep.
And let me say, from an Arcana perspective, that is no insignificant amount of magical ability.
It is not. However, how much of it he is using to control those here in Candlekeep is a question. Because as far as I can tell, he has not exercised such powers maliciously yet.
This is true. So, do you feel as though we should confront Quill directly?
I think that will probably have the highest chance to yield answers.
Or conflict, one or the other.
Or one or the other. However, it seems that, from my understanding of Quill, even when I spoke to him before, he has the innate desire to basically grant his own and many others' desires simultaneously. The perfect utopia, so to speak. We all know this is not something that can be achieved. Yes. That's simply the law of the world.
I would agree with that.
Not everyone's base desires can be granted, because in doing so, you also have to remove someone else's desires. Sometimes.
What if we put everyone to sleep, and then we create a whole new universe, and we call it the Matrix, and then everything will be fine.
Tony, please do not speak of events like that. That is terrifying.
I think I must have seen it in a mover once.
A mover.
A mover.
I've never seen such a film, and I would never want to see
Has
such a
anyone
film.
seen Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
called Movies Movers.
Yeah.
That's right. I haven't seen
That
Korra in a
was-
hot minute.
Yeah. It's a great show.
Mhm.
Although, yeah, let's not debate how good Korra is or isn't, because, yeah.
I think I only watched the first season. I just kind of like didn't watch the rest of it.
Wow.
I did. Oh, sorry.
I'm on the. I saw the first season. I kind of haven't kept up with watching the rest.
I saw Dragon
not
Prince.
not due to any other reason. I just kind of didn't. That's
I saw-
Sadly.
I saw Dragon Prince very recently, which the main character is literally like Sokka's voice actor.
Do you like it? I love that show.
I love it. They made like such a funny joke with like again like Sokka's character, like, or the voice actor of Sokka who plays this character. Shit. But anyways, you get the idea. He was holding this like curved object. He's like, "Wait a minute, you seem familiar." Boomerang? Like, it was so funny. Can't believe they did that. But Layla's just been here distracted with her gun the whole time.
It's
Right. So now the question is, we can either confront Quill for maybe answers as to what his maybe true intentions about fulfilling everyone's base desires. Either he answers or doesn't. What the heck was that?
Huh?
Someone heard base desires and really let loose.
I know, right? I like, wait, what? The heck was
Y'all
that?
go to Sai. Hold on, what?
Yamero! Anyways, so there's that. Or we continue one of the rest of these books that we have already proceeded quite far in, and hopefully Miriam does not attempt to stop us further. Maybe with under threat of speaking with Quill. Either way, or at least the scenarios I'm suggesting ends up speaking with Quill. I am open to ideas.
I am merely a muscle. Whatever you say, I will do. Did not get into this business for thinking. For having ideas.
I
So
respect
whatever,
that.
as far as the voting, whatever other is the winner.
Yeah.
So I guess talking to Quill is not there, or is like the other option.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It was kind of left ambiguous because people didn't know what udder was, and trying to figure out what udder is was, I think, it.
Of what other is.
Yeah, udder was figuring out what udder is. Which it seems that's the way to proceed unless somebody has anything to the contrary.
I have my reservations about approaching Will on this matter. Because
Yes.
you didn't see how he changed. Well, what had happened aside from well, Ash.
I personally have not seen how he changed, and I understand that. However, I also noticed or had a keen look on how he spoke and how he thought prior to the engagement with the Beholder. Even before then, he had a hidden desire, maybe he himself didn't know, that he did not want to leave that place.
He didn't wish to leave that place, but here he is now. And well, who's to say he's not trying to do the same thing, but to a much grander scale?
Yes, and that's the thing where I'm trying to figure out. How does he intend to accomplish that? Surely, if he already had such power now, he would have already done so. So why does he insist on trying to learn everyone's base desires? And how far they're willing to go to achieve such base desires? At least he definitely posed that question to me. I'm assuming he's at least posed a similar question to all of you.
I barely interacted with the guy.
I do actually have to go thank him for helping me find my success.
I remember there was a time when I didn't know exactly what it was he was trying to do, so I thought I could, well, just ask him for a magic item, but then one thing led to another and I ended up feeling bad afterwards. It's as if like there was a voice in my head that said I felt bad about it afterwards. But
damn, you almost had a conscience?
no, because I remembered when I tried to ask him for like the basically like the book that I just got now that I stole, and I remember like Eric Quill was like, "Oh, that's what you want? I mean, sure." And then like, and then Aqua was just like, "You feel bad after asking that." And well,
I mean, as I said, if you speaking with Quill is only one potential option. The other is to try our hand to see if Miriam lets us proceed further into the stories.
after we left the book, I've been feeling a little more papery, for lack of better words. I'm not sure why that is. Was that because of Miriam's efforts?
I'm not entirely certain the specifics of that. I thought that was simply a fact of me dying, but it seems to have happened to those who had not died.
Come to think of it,
I didn't even fall unconscious.
Yeah, I think the more we go into the books with Miriam in control, he's just kind of slowly forcing us to become part of his horde. So I guess there might come a point where we become unable to leave a book because we just become paper in the pages.
Precisely. I think that above all else, we should perhaps talk with Miriam first and find out why our condition is becoming like this. if anybody can ascertain the truth behind that, well, scaled freak, it would probably be you, Phoenix.
I can give it my best try, though that dragon's already rubbed quite awfully on me, and I've quite rubbed off all on him. I'd refuse to yield on him on him keeping the souls of the people he stole.
I wouldn't falter on that either.
Then we're in agreement in that. I do
You know,
not mind
it's-
speaking with the dragon, though we'll have to wait and see if he's willing to speak with me.
You know, to be honest, I think that I've had something of a change of heart since I've come here to, well, Candlekeep. So, I suppose to speak a bit bluntly, since, well, at this point I have no reason to distrust any of you. My heritage comes from that of, well, the elemental plane of air.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
In fact,
This has all been a setup.
my well, I found out about my heritage, well, later in my years. I grew up rather poor on the streets of Baldur's Gate, and, well, it was only later when I found out that my mom was this creature called a djinn. And so I looked into them, found out that they have the powers to make things the way they want. But after seeing how that power changed Quill, I'm not sure I want that anymore. All I really want is to make sure that more people don't end up in these books like, well, my friend Nikke.
Yes,
For
exactly. And I have every intention of saving every single one of them. Initially, I came here under the orders of finding Morik, but as upon finding out that there are also many other trapped captives in this book, I cannot let that stand. I will release them all, and I will find a way to do so. Though it seems that it'll have to be through Miriam to do it. Now, that's the thing, though. If Miriam is really breaking contract in order to steal these souls, or were they given permission to steal these souls by Errant Quill, has yet to be found out by me.
It's going to be hard to find the truth of that. Well,
I can only find out by speaking with the dragon directly, or with Quill, though Quill may be a bit more tight-lipped.
I propose that what we do is we speak with Miriam, and if the dragon yields no useful information, then we go ahead and approach Quill. But if I were Errant Quill and I was plotting this grand scheme to shape reality how I want by using people's desires or something like that, I would at that point perceive the group asking about me as a threat. And so I think that this potentially has the chance of becoming a point of no return. And furthermore, that book is our clue into the insides of Errant Quill. And I am sure as shit he is going to ask about how we came about that knowledge, should we bring that to his face. And so I propose we also hide the book that we went into.
If you're talking about the Tales of Wisteria Vale, I do not currently have it. I left it back in the unpublished realm. To which I also probably should return, as he pulls up the book that he borrowed. Return this as well.
Yes, and I propose that we hide the Tales of Wisteria Vale somewhere. In fact, I actually have somewhere only I can access.
I'm not entirely certain how I feel about the idea of taking books from the library, only because at least the dragon at least has that. That's the only thing that they should be allowed to keep in their hoard, is knowledge that is given to them.
Well, it is a library. We'll just simply be borrowing it. That's what we do with books here, is it not?
Lies of omission are still our lies, Layla.
I'm not gonna keep it.
Hmm.
Why would I want the book that traumatized me?
Then, at least we're in agreement on that as well. Anyone else up for speaking with the dragon? Or speaking with Quill?
I would agree that I think we have less to lose initially from revisiting Mirem versus we potentially have quite a lot to jeopardize by going straight to Quill at this point in time.
Okay.
Before we head out, let's take an hour and eat.
That sounds splendid. I
like
haven't eaten yet.
Snack time!
What's our? Bring out the plates.
Oh no,
Bring out the
that's
fine china.
A vine china.
well.
It's like the plastic cups, the paper plates.
Yes, exactly. The red solo cups.
The styrofoam
The-
plates
the-
that
the-
melt when hot food touches them.
There's only chopsticks. There's no fork.
That was
Dun, dun,
louder than I
dun.
thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, because all the settings reset.
Why does this happen every time? Okay, whatever.
It's 2d10 plus con modifier.
Just 2 die 10, but it increases your current and max. Why am I only partial?
But that's the roll. 2d10 plus 1.
2d10. Just flat 2d10.
2d10. I get the +1 because of aspect of law.
Oh, I see.
Woo!
Ooh,
Damn, I actually
Good
got
rolls,
numbers
people.
this time.
mine kind of sucked, but that's okay.
Wow, mine sucked. Okay.
Average.
Larga nearly max rolled. What the heck?
She's the person who needs it the least, no offense.
I mean, she's also the person who's getting hit the most, so I would argue and say that she also just needs it.
Don't bring common sense into this.
How dare you bring logic into this?
Maestra and her duality of man roll.
Yeah, truly.
Wait, do I seriously have the second most HP in the party?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Kinda.
All right,
Yes.
Aqua. It seems that most of us are in agreement with heading to Miriam first.
All right.
Hold on, there's two people who haven't eaten yet.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony,
Hey yo, what's up?
roll your 2d10s.
I cast Hero's Feast for us again.
I would love to. Give me a second.
What?
I was waiting for a but I can't.
I would
I
love
just got out
to.
of the computer for a second. Like, I
It
have
reminds me of those people that are like, yeah, you might be, really abrasive and annoying. And also, you make things in situations a lot more difficult than they need to be.
And
What?
also,
There's no
There's
but.
no
As I remember, like, seeing a clip from Teen Titans Go where, like, the Robin from that show is, like, shaking hands with, like, the Robin from, like, the actual Teen Titans, and he's just like, when I first met you, I thought you were weird and annoying. And you are. And you are. Literally just that.
There's no buts. You just are.
Literally.
You're just annoying. Like, fuck.
It's like, yeah, you are. Oh, so funny.
God, I want to go watch the original Teen Titans again.
So good.
So good.
My favorite thing about that show that I just gotta laugh about now is the fact that, like, Slade had, like, no reason to beef with those kids as hard as he did, but he just did.
Yeah, truly.
Dude just saw
He
Robin
doesn't
just
need a reason.
Dude saw Robin just started swinging on him, like, for no reason.
He didn't need a reason. He was just having some fun.
That guy.
You traumatized Robin so bad that Robin got his ass beat by a hallucination of Slade. Like,
I was also
yeah.
just like, really? You beat up a kid?
Deathstroke is kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
sure fucking is.
I mean, no, people who are mentally well don't name themselves Deathstroke, okay?
You don't know me.
yeah, I guess,
You don't know me. You don't know my story.
You're not my supervisor. All right, so there it is. You go ahead and collect all your bearings and feast up, and begin heading once more back over to Miriam's lair. You make your way into the library, passing by Orin. Still no sign of Emmy, the previous current doorkeeper? Question mark? And find yourself once more
The unpublished stone.
you're able to get here without any significant issue by just retracing the same steps that you did last time. It seems that if there's at least one benefit to the library, it's that even though there's twists and turns and gravity shenanigans and rooms within rooms, it is consistent. The steps you take once will work the same every single time.
It may be constantly changing, but at least it's constant.
It's not even
At least
constantly
there's
changing.
It's consistency in my life.
Alright. Phoenix,
It
you
does,
summon the dragon.
it does not take long nor any exquisite summoning as their face appears to your west by itself of its own volition. You have returned.
Yes, we have returned, and I have, as promised, returned with your book. Phoenix returns it to a prompt, and he keeps it tidy in a nice pile. As I said, I have no intentions of stealing anything from your library. Now, we have seen what you have shown us in regards to Quill. And I would say that I would love to say that I'm shocked by his personality, but to be frank, I am not. It seems like something that I kind of understood of how he was. Now, my understanding, Miriam, that you are kept here by the Archmage Torf.
If that is the name of the one that imprisoned me here and made me their slave, then yes, it would be that Archmage. Wizards always meddling in affairs, treating dragons like dogs.
Kind of or not Layla. I mean, like Layla kind of looks over at Ash. Do you have experience doing that?
I find that comment to be very broadly stereotypical and unfair, but I don't feel like this is a good time to engage in an argument with the dragon ghost, you know.
Fair enough.
Well, you understand the magnitude of the danger that you now reside yourselves to.
Miriam, Phoenix is going to try explaining the symptoms about the paperiness. Does it flow out of his mouth, or is there like a lock similar to when speaking to Quill?
You are able to speak freely.
Nice.
Ooh. First time.
Phoenix is gonna we have been experiencing these papery feelings whenever maybe something terrible happens to us upon exiting some of these books. But particularly it happened when we entered the Tale of Wisteria Vale. Can you explain more about this?
You have been tagged with that paper skin of yours. For when the reckoning arrives and the publishing commences, you will be placed inside of your own books within my books.
What do you mean
just
tag?
treat my hoard as the playthings.
Who is the publishing? What is the publishing?
Each one of you, separately, one by one, will be confined within one of my books, against your will, against mine, and there you shall live forever.
So,
against our will.
So, this is your doing.
Stop! Do not think that I would degrade my own horde by forcibly placing you inside of the books. They're
I'm just-
mine. You are barely a treasure.
I'm just going to like gently pat Layla's shoulder to be like, don't take it personally. Dragons can be very proud.
This bitch.
How dare
He's
you
like,
not want
to
me?
Layla, you're a treasure to the rest of us, okay? Like,
Start sobbing
We
on her,
treasure
on her shoulder. Anyways, Phoenix is gonna look at Miriam as he's saying all this. It's just like, then am I to assume that Quill is the one in charge of this publishing, or was that your previous art master Torf?
You could not figure out that it is Quill's business to have this done after seeing their history firsthand? Must I spell it all out?
So it was Quill. I had figured.
You are all
Now-
but infants of your human ages.
this is most likely true, yes. We are far younger than you, but listen, I will be blunt. If we wish to solve this condition, which we would like to not be marked and to figure out what is going on, which benefits you, we would no longer, or anyone else would contaminate or sully your horde by being trapped in there, then we would appreciate if you can be as honest as possible back. We've not encountered someone like Quill who has these sort of abilities. It is a rare thing.
So
Might I?
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
go ahead. Nope, I was just gonna say, might I ask if you might say, Miriam, but how many such people has he marked and forced into your demi-plane books up to this point?
I have an accurate record of every single thing within my horde, and currently within there resides over 5,000 such individuals, simply contaminating, ruining my precious treasures. A fitting consequence for those that would delve into the hoard of a dragon and try to extract that which is not theirs.
How can we go about breaking these tags, removing them from our bodies?
like the flip over.
Flip.
He's looking over at us now. He was monologuing at blinking
in the middle
distance.
distance, right?
What was your question, Phoenix?
Phoenix is inquiring how to remove the tags from their
I've
bodies.
done nothing but low roll this entire game.
There is no method that I am aware of, but I presume that if you were to eliminate Errant Quill, then so too would their power subside.
It is not a simple matter of us just walking over and eliminating him. Errant Quill is a very powerful man, you see. Now,
We need
I think
to do
we
our
step.
Super Saiyan power up cycle in the books first.
I think it proves to benefit us both, Dragon, that maybe you can allow us to venture forth into the rest of your books. I will do my best to not steal from your horde, but I will borrow the necessary requirements until the task is done about doing something about Quill. And then after that, I will return everything I have borrowed from you.
You would strike an alliance, then, to eliminate Quill, to save yourselves, and in
To save-
exchange, protect my horde as well.
To save all the souls that are taken unnecessarily, that defile your horde, to save all those souls, and to return everything that has been stolen from you. That is how the law works. You are under contract to guard the horde. It is only just that you keep that oath. But the souls are outside of your reach, and I will take those back.
So long as they're within my books, they belong to me. But if they are ejected upon the elimination of Quill, then it is no concern of mine.
Then, then we can reach an agreement on that then.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage.
Let's go.
Nice.
You got this. Is that advantage?
God.
Well, I did
We
not
just-
advantage. Hold on.
What are these good, good lord, today the dice are just not with us. Ay, ay, ay.
The dice are mean today.
For real?
I find it
we're
funny
both
how
from
everyone's.
Alaska.
I find it funny how everyone's looking at my 24 and 25
I know.
respectively and are like, "Gosh, man, it's so horrible."
I mean, it's your modifier, but geez, 8 and 9. Come
I mean,
on.
maybe the modifier will do it for you, because 25
Yeah.
is still pretty good.
Fucking sharp, yeah.
I mean, admittedly, if you think about it this way, if any person that just had a normal persuasion check and rolled a 20 with a +5 persuasion mod, that is still 25.
Because if they were speaking his language, we said we wouldn't steal anything from his hoard, we would borrow stuff, we'd like give stuff back, and he doesn't have any issues with like if the people get ejected if we take Quill out.
Yeah. So basically, keeping everything in his hoard. We're only borrowing the stuff that we get, and then afterwards we return everything we get, but we keep the people.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's honestly doable.
Yeah. We won't steal gold anymore, sorry.
No more diamond farming for chapter 1 of
It was great while it lasted.
Well, technically, what Phoenix did was make more money than the actual value, because he sold it upcosted.
Literally thinking too about like how I had like creations now we can make those like adamantine picks.
All right, so I guess we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll see.
Give me just 1 second.
No.
How about no?
Have you considered though?
Sorry, I
Mr. Dragon.
just had to find one thing.
I don't know
Oh,
if it
and-
helps, but I do have expertise in persuasion.
Yeah, sorry, had the thing.
Welcome to the life of a rogue, where we have expertise on nearly everything.
Alright,
I
sorry,
bet.
had to-
I'm just gonna make a comment. It's like, I have expertise on history, insight, intimidation, investigation, medicine, perception, persuasion.
They kind of disappear for a moment and then like rest almost their whole body over on the other side here. In a full form, now more fully visible.
Oh boy.
You now, for the first time, kind of see exactly what they look like in totality.
Whoa.
That's wild.
Impressive.
A ghosty dragon. Okay.
This offer intrigues me. The potential end of my servitude. Perhaps that may not necessarily be part of this. But to defend my own hoard against the likes of that horrible Quill. This seems promising. But what exactly is your plan? The mechanism by which you intend to fight this man that can manipulate reality?
There are several things that need to happen. First, I need to understand the nature of these tags that are presumably on our bodies. Because, summarily, if what you're saying is true about this publishing, Quill can maybe activate it at his best possible time and just steal our bodies away. So we need to first find an issue to solve the tagging that currently plagues her body. Second, we need to gather enough strength, obviously, because, as you mentioned, Quill is in fact a reality warping mage. Or bard, I believe.
He was a
Well,
bard, yes.
Yes.
So,
It,
sorry.
I was going to say, it appears we need to do quite a bit more research while we continue to strengthen ourselves about such magics and what we can possibly do against it.
I believe
Exactly.
the tagging is the most pressing thing though, because if even going through like the tales of Visteria Vale, it's coming out of that we became even more papery, so who's to say that we don't lose more people the next book we go into? That is not a sustainable fight.
Yes, so we need to find a way to maybe either slow or remove the tagging process on our own bodies. That way we at least stand a fighting chance against Quill. I would hope that you would help us with this. Seeing as how you
ability
stand
to-
to benefit as well.
The ability to remove such marks upon you is not within what I can do. But part of why I abhor Quill is because I got to see it firsthand as they used my books, my horde, as their own experimental plane for the things that they tested. I watched and saw the mechanisms by which it all works.
It sounds like an excellent opportunity for someone who understands arcane well, as Layla just kind of like elbows like Ash a little, like,
Hello.
it's like, are you listening? Like, are you listening? Like,
The marking cannot be removed, but it is fortunate for this alliance then that they cannot simply initiate the event at their own leisure. It requires an enormous amount of energy that they have spent the last few hundred years perfecting and managing to transform the defensive energy of Candlekeep as a conduit for their own power. Such had started with just one small demiplane, one small book, and thus has expanded to the thousands that now reside with it.
I see. It is, frankly, quite impressive, but this helps us understand better.
The scale of the magic is one that is difficult, I imagine, for your small heads to comprehend. But such bellies the horribleness of misusing magic to one's own gains. I
Indeed.
digress.
I must... Oh, go ahead.
Palpable as my anger remains, I will try my attempts to mitigate it for the course of this conversation.
With that, I greatly appreciate.
Phoenix, with your insight, you can tell that any time they're basically discussing Quill and the defilement of their horde, there's just this constant simmering anger that's just barely restrained under the surface.
He's doing his best. Yep, with that, Phoenix is just gonna say, like, so we're in agreement then. If you can maybe staunch or slow the tagging process, that way we could venture further into these books. So that, one, we can gain knowledge about the tagging process. As you said, you have seen it firsthand. If you can provide as much information about it as possible, that'd be very useful. Otherwise, we'll just have to go through these books, combing through the information ourselves. Which, that's fine as well.
As it stands, each of these demiplanes created by the books, well, call them demiplanes is not precisely right, but for the sake of brevity, I shall refer to them as such. Each one of them has a consistent story that requires a certain trigger to initiate reaching into the next chapter. Unfortunately, as I've already roadblocked 3 that you had already attempted to go into, cannot remove it immediately. It will take approximately a year, and I do not know if we have that time. However, there still remains another avenue by which to proceed. Well, I cannot remove the roadblocks that I imposed over inside of the 4th chapter of each one. It is still within your power to alter the events in the past to accelerate how quickly you achieve the end results of each of the books.
Sounds like we got a backtrack.
So we're gonna speedrun the books.
Yeah, literally.
Doing so will allow you to have
Speedrun
access,
books
most
90%.
importantly, to my most powerful treasures, which I guarded behind all the trials and tribulations required at the end of each of the planes.
So it's my understanding then, supposing that the the roadblocks occur on the 4th chapters. These are going to happen nonetheless. But we can maybe find different avenues to reach the end of the stories through methods possible if known beforehand.
Precisely.
Interesting.
In short, we need to optimize the actions we take in the stories in order to achieve the best endings in that short 4-chapter limited time.
Additionally, each one will always proceed upon one certain trigger, or in certain instances, sets of triggers.
We best identify the triggers, and then as soon as we know what sets the triggers, we must set up prior for the next chapter, so that we can go to the next checkpoint, so to speak. As long as we know the triggers, we know what we have to do. Canopic Being strikes me as the first one with the easiest trigger. We merely have to be present in front of... I forget her name.
Yes, with the Gem of Azumar.
Yeah, with the Gem of Azumar.
I'm kind of reading it slightly differently. We don't really want to hit these checkpoints that
early.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on. Oh, okay.
We don't want to hit them at all. We just want to end the book entirely. So, like, for the Canopic Being, I'm imagining if we enter, like, chapter 1 and just use our previous information of where all the gems are being kept, along with the ones that we already have, and we just gather all of them and then present them to What's-Her-Face at once. That might just do it.
The question is how do we... We'd have to be done before chapter 4.
While speculating about the nature of the task imposed here, consider as well that the magic items that you put deposited into my hoard will remain there and potentially influence the events that transpire next.
Layla holding, like, once again, just like the cylinders.
Similarly, every time you have taken something from my hoard, you have irrevocably adjusted parts of the story.
Oh, interesting.
You know, we could speedrun every book by just flooding everything, because I do still have like 20 of these bombs.
The bombs, yeah.
I don't know if that will speedrun things or just create, like, literally just like a natural disaster.
I mean, that's one way to avoid every single checkpoint and avoid ending chapter 4, right?
True.
Total destruction does not sound like the proper solution, Valarka.
It sounds like a solution.
Phoenix is starting to slowly miss my Ev.
She's sleeping like the fishes right now.
Fortunately, I can simply tell you exactly what it requires to end each of the books, therefore allowing you to reach those treasures within a scarce amount of time. As I cannot physically interact with the world, I cannot assist any further than that.
That would be helpful, thank you.
Simply background knowledge of the stories themselves will be ample enough. We would appreciate that.
For example, inside of the book, with the boat, the maroon ship, your task is... It requires... the end result.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he can't tell us. Interesting.
I could not believe that their influence continues to interrupt me in my own lair.
Well, we appreciated your attempt, though it seems that Cool is preventing.
Is there any way that you can tell us that we could find the answer ourselves?
If we have him like say the entire sentence, we can piece it together like via context clues.
Can you just like write it down on a piece of paper?
It is unlikely to work, and by unlikely I mean impossible. The powers that you are dealing with here, it's because they do not want me to tell you that I cannot by any means. Simple as that.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yeah. Come on now.
So
I'm just
Aaron
kidding.
Quill is a Sith then, because he's causing absolutes and thus he's dealing in them.
No, our
Like-
DM is a Sith.
I just imagine like what happened. Literally just imagining Phoenix going up to like Aaron Quill's like office and just like, in the name of Waterdeep, you are under arrest. Are you threatening, Master Detective? The Senate will decide your fate.
Oh my god.
That's how the last combat's gonna occur. Master, like Aaron Quill, Phoenix pulls out his badge from Waterdeep. You're under arrest.
He literally just turns into Darth Sidious.
Though something concerns me. I cannot tell you about the nature of the ends of each of the books. But for some reason, we can freely have this conversation that conspires against Quill. Does not make sense, but it's irrelevant, ultimately.
Do you think Quill might already be privy to this?
I doubt it. The power is passive.
Is it possible that the powers are limited by Quill's own imagination? Perhaps he thought about not restricting you from saying the answer, but left out details as, well, the mortal mind can only go so far.
The power is based on what they wish for and what they desire to be true. For one reason or another, they do not desire to know any of you to be able to know any more information about books than that which I provided.
That makes no sense because we also can't talk about certain things.
They must not will for you to.
Much like he
Right.
doesn't. Oh, so he must not will for us to speak about our own condition. Weird. Why does he not want us to speak about it to him?
Yeah, that's kind of my question too. Because you would think that talking to him about it, he would not mind. Or at least let us, I don't know. I think this is something other than him prohibiting us specifically from knowing more, and more like no one is allowed to say anything about how this works in general.
And yet, here we are discussing it. Although, there is a certain exception here. For I, with my eyes, can see your skin changed clear as day, whereas it would appear invisible to all others.
So you're able to see our condition.
This is my library, and my hoard, and my books. I should hope so.
Well, I have no intention of defiling your library with myself. Then. We need to just, if you're unable to tell us the exact nature of these books, perhaps is there maybe a different method that are you able to interact with anything in the stories? You were able to place the checkpoints that are impeded our path. Perhaps you can maybe place checkpoints that show us a good direction that maybe we may want to head.
Hey, wait. Was it you that killed the Kraken in the Marin ship in the beginning of the book?
Yes.
In order, unfortunately, my adjustments are limited. The capacity by which I'm able to adjust the actual contents has very limited application, and so our alliance, unfortunately, came too late. Had it arrived any earlier, perhaps things could have been different. But it will be a year before I can make another adjustment. Positive or negative. And then for the second one. No. That was actually caused by... Are you...
Right. He can't reveal any information about the books.
He's like, no
Oh,
spoilers.
Oh, that might be it. That might be it. So just like this is his domain and he knows what's going on with the tagging, and he knows what goes on in the books, and we don't know yet, but we know about the skin condition. Those here can't. Spoilers are avoided in general.
Oh, so you think
We don't
it's
know about the
based
books.
on what we already know?
It's a theory.
The
Or it
game
seems to hold with the
theory.
pattern.
It may potentially be a thing, like maybe Will doesn't. Yeah, maybe he doesn't wish for people to spoil the endings of his books.
Oh, that could be possibly true. Hold on, let's try something. Since Miriam basically knows everything, basically speaking spoilers is just not allowed.
Okay, Dragon, how does
Can you tell me the end of the Watarsar series? I wasn't able to catch up on the latest.
You know how dark this would be if this was the actual truth? Because that would mean that the reason why we can't talk about the papery thing is because it's a spoiler to Quill.
It's either a spoiler to Quill or it's a spoiler for the other people.
Yeah, that's why we're not allowed to speak about it to anybody besides the people who are privy to it.
I can't believe me just going like, haha, no spoilers. Like, wait a minute. Like,
Basically, Quill just has a rule that says no spoilers. Okay, hold on.
I've been thinking
Here's
about
what-
this
here's
for
what
like
Phoenix wants
half
to
an
know.
hour now.
Can Miriam speak about any of the stuff that we already know of?
What would you
Can
have
you-
me try to describe?
Can you just recount the events of our chapter 4 of the last chapter? Maybe of Legion of Iron. Just recount the events as they occurred to us.
You attempted to enter into a mine, and then found your attempts thwarted by rocks and an imminent demon invasion that I prompted.
What,
You were able to speak of it, Miriam. That seems to be the gist of what's keeping you from speaking. It's not so much that Errant Quill is refusing for you to speak out about the books. It is likely there is a greater power of his desire that none of his stories be spoiled to those who are not privy of it.
Well, I'm assuming you already know, like, the end of the story of the maroon ship. Can you tell us the ending?
I attempted
can't.
to earlier, but it failed.
Because it's a spoiler to us.
Right. So if that's a working theory, if you can't tell us anything about what you already don't know, then we just have to raw dog these books.
Well, hold on, because he can speak of things that has occurred. We can maybe go through maybe each story
Different
one by
options?
one,
Yeah.
options that we can go or we could have taken.
I
Yeah.
also have an
Yeah.
idea too. So like when he tried to tell us about like the of like how to get to like chapter like 4 or something like that, but maybe we can just play like chapter by chapter. Like what do we do to like get like what's the best way to get to the end of like chapter 1 of Maroon Ship, for example?
That's a spoiler though, because
Is
he can't tell us like the best possible path. Because wouldn't that be a spoiler? I mean, I guess we could try something like in the end of our latest adventure of chapter 1 inside of the Maroon Ship, we fought the Kraken, which was summarily killed by something he can't spoil because.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a spoiler.
Yeah, because but the thing is, we don't know what killed the Kraken, which I imagine we potentially have the possibility of learning about later.
However, I think
But we know how chapter
Hold on.
1 ends, so
Just 1 second. There was,
Okay.
I think we actually kind of did see what killed the Kraken. We saw it was something ethereal. We thought it was either an ethereal Kraken or an ethereal dragon. So it's technically not a spoiler if he just confirms what we saw.
Is it
We don't
material
know
Kraken?
exactly what. We saw that it was tentacles of some sort.
Let's
Like,
try that
oh,
then.
correct.
The creature that killed the Kraken, was it another
actually-
large ethereal being with tentacles?
It was an ethereal
Ghost
being.
tentacle.
Okay. He can confirm that with us.
so he can only like confirm like stuff that like we know up to, it seems.
Yep.
Yes.
So my God,
Speculation is
Spoiler.
spoiler territory.
it literally might be spoilers.
Yeah, speculation is spoiler territory.
I feel like Aqua would do something like that, so yeah. This is totally up his alley.
Okay, so we just have to think about what the end goal of each chapter 4 was. So the end goal of, I'm just gonna go from Legion of Iron because that one was the easiest. It was the mine. We couldn't enter the mine because something happened. So basically, starting from chapter 1, we just head towards the mine.
Good
Yes.
idea.
And then let me see. For Canopic Being, the end chapter was hitting or reaching the city. If we had a method to fast travel to the city, grab the gem, and fast travel back, we'd literally skip that entire chapter 3. Skip chapter 3 to get there.
We can kind of. Layla remembers the city. She has the Ring of Shadows or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's
Layla
just the
can
one of
just
us,
bring
so-
a shadows to the city.
Wait, what happened?
Okay, so I'm just like thinking of like I'm a mass skipping each chapter. So like I went through with Legion of Iron. Basically the end chapter that we couldn't complete was to enter the mine. So chapter 1 we head towards the mine. That's an easy one. Canopic Being is a little bit tricky because the chapter 3 basically took up the entire basically getting to the city, and then chapter 4 our boss dies. So if we just skip chapter 3 entirely, the idea is we just fast travel to the city either on chapter 1 or chapter 2, grab the gem, and then return back, either by method of Ring of Shadow or teleportation.
I believe teleportation may be the best way to go about it because I cannot bring anybody with me with the Ring of Shadow.
Yeah, so that's a way to basically cut that entire process down, and that saves the entire chapter 3, and we could do something else.
You know, when we were doing Legion of Iron, that last chapter when everything went wrong, remember how I used the Ring of Shadows to try and warn those in the keep as to what was happening? It was then when our lovely narrator decided to teleport me with you all, so...
Interesting.
Yes, I was rather annoyed by that, but
Yeah, so
it seems as though that was one of the roadblocks that was imposed upon us.
So there is that one.
We can
And
just go and like see if we're correct about this.
I mean, yeah, I'm just running through each story, and then for the last one, which was shoot, I forgot the name of it. The Maroon Ship. Chapter 2 and chapter 1 was getting off the island. Unless we found a way to fast travel off the island immediately, which either by teleportation or just leave the island because we could swim. There's that. Then there's chapter 2, which was hitting the atoll, speaking with the water nymph, and then leaving. That was it.
No,
So there's a lot of shit. There's a lot to chapter 2 we could have done.
The reason that we wanted to leave the atoll and go was because we wanted to go diving into the atoll.
That's right, there was
To
a
get to the
chest there
bottom.
that I didn't have the ability to reach on my own, or I could have, but I wasn't sure if it was dangerous or not.
Yeah, so basically,
surely we could just like bring the
down there
proper
yet?
gear with us and just go down there
yeah, I think we
without ever
improved the
going to
ship.
the city.
We improved the ship on the first one. It's definitely a lot better than it was last time.
We
Okay,
also...
maybe.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just like, I was just mentioning that we improved the ship on the first time around than last time. So maybe we can use the improved ship to actually descend down into the depths where we couldn't do before.
Well, the only issue is that those demon rays would still be inhabiting the depths of the atoll.
We're a lot stronger than we were before.
This is true.
I think one well-placed fireball can probably fix most of that.
That is also true.
So there's that, and we're a lot stronger than we were before. So there's, yeah. and then as soon as we can go down to the depths, we can proceed further to uncharted territory. We actually haven't hit the roadblock for the maroon ship, so we don't actually know what it is. And because it's spoiler territory, he can't confirm what it was.
I make no concession or apology for what I've done.
I understand.
Understandable.
It's water under the bridge.
So, Miriam, if I could just
Well,
bend your
actually,
ear for just a moment.
if-
The roadblocks happen always on chapter 4, is that correct?
Correct. It seemed the most convenient time for each one.
Does that happen? Does that occur on every chapter 4, even if we were to summarily do a different path?
Correct.
So the idea is to finish the story on chapter 3 then.
or go
Ideally
around
on chapter 3.
4, and just go from 3 to 5.
Each roadblock is at the conclusion of chapter 4, not at the beginning, should you require additional time.
I see. So the idea is that we successfully finish the story within the first 3 chapters, or if we need just a little bit of extra time at the beginning of chapter 4 before things get before the roadblock occurs. And I'm guessing the roadblock changes depending on how the story has gone.
Somewhat.
Or is that
the
spoiler?
I cannot confirm any more than that, it seems.
Well, you said one of the books didn't get roadblocked, right?
No, it's that we haven't reached the roadblock yet.
It's the maroon ship. We have yet to go through
we
chapter 4.
finished. Didn't we?
No, we only went to finish chapter 3. We actually haven't entered chapter 4.
Huh.
We don't know where the roadblock is, but now we know there is a roadblock. If I could just make a confirmation of the roadblock on that we experienced at the chapter 4 of the Canopic Being, since we have experienced it, was it you that summarily took the life of our of the leader that we were following?
Valen will always turn to dust at the conclusion of that chapter.
There you go. That's all I needed you to confirm. So we have to complete chapter the Canopic Being on chapter 3, or at least a portion of the way through chapter 4 when they eventually disappear.
Wait, I have a question perhaps to try to confirm this spoiler theory. Miriam, can you confirm that you said that before, the roadblock, so to speak, that you put in place for the Iron Legion was having the demon army attack, correct?
Correct.
You were able to say that before. Can you tell us what the roadblock is in place for the maroon ship?
I've already attempted to, and failed.
Yes, okay.
Your horns are blocking your ears.
Well, can you like write it on a piece of paper?
Basically, if
Blink
it's a,
twice,
he's a
if, right?
ghost.
I mean, like we haven't tried, so you know.
if it's spoiler territory, he's not allowed to speak about it. Funny enough, it's really weird, because then that means there's something about us being papery, being a spoiler for people. Yes.
It's a spoiler of the publishing.
Yes, I guess it is a spoiler
But-
for the publishing.
But he told us about the publishing, though.
Because we know about it.
We know we are privy to us being papery.
But we didn't know that. I was gonna say like, oh,
Publishing?
but we didn't know the name of the publishing though. I'm getting kind of confused here.
It might
Oh
be
my,
multiple
but-
different effects.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, this spoiler thing is still just a theory.
It is.
I mean, it's
So
probably
theory.
it's a theory, but it's probably one of the most concrete theories.
Yes.
There's a lot to support it. There's a lot right now.
Alright, that said, I have to admit, I'm like, my brain is failing me right now. It's nearly 1 a.m. I'm fucking tired. I got
Yeah.
up too early this morning.
So I mean, but we have several ideas now that what we can do in regards to each chapter. But we're probably gonna have to go through a chapter 1 again.
Yeah. It actually seems like a reasonable spot to conclude the session here, actually, as, I mean,
Look
there's
at all
a
the
lot
stuff you
of...
prepared for us that you didn't have to use. Wow.
Hey, it was good. It's always good to prepare. It's future preparation for next week.
Yeah.
Just,
It's
I
better.
won't keep
It's
you
better
long.
to prepare, not over prepare. Prepare just enough.
I know.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say, I'm really glad that Layla and I pushed back on going to see Quill. God.
I mean,
Ugh.
I always left it open. I'm never just like tossing out my ideas.
Oh, I
as,
know, I
yeah.
But I was just like, oh god, that would not have gone well.
It's just like, I don't know if that's gonna go well, because normally when you confront the big bad villain with their plan, it usually doesn't end well ever.
I just
Yeah,
thought that
maybe we
you
were even
didn't
allowed to
see
speak
him
about it.
change. Like, you didn't see his change in personality.
Changes time.
Hey, Mr. Beholder, I'd like to talk to you for a second.
Beholder.
My word.
Oops.
Oh.
I'm not actually. Sorry, not casting that. I was trying to look at what the fuck it did, and it did it.
Divine word.
My bad.
Damn.
Alright. Alright.
Cool.
Well, with that, thank you,
Oh,
Ash, for
nice.
joining, and we'll call the session there. So that way you can
Oh
sleep.
yeah, no, it's just my brain or body did not cooperate with me, and I woke up at like 6:30 this morning, and I'm fucking tired now as a
Yes,
result.
that pin's about to be really useful, y'all. That pin is going to be real useful.
What pin again?
The pin for what we want to do next.